it's just nice to have. It's just nice to have those relationships with people, So it's cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So today we decided to do something a little different. And really, like Brick said, the guest thing is great. It's important. It's what we really want to do and will continue to do. We just decided and thought that this might be just something a little different. We love hearing from the folks that listen. The support has been great. We love the interactions that we get via DM on Instagram or even text. Chris Gerard's been a pretty faithful listener. Those of you that don't know Chris, and that's why I encourage, and I tagged him in something the other day on social media. He writes articles all the time for TCIA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Smart, sharp, talented, passionate dude.
Definitely
right?
passionate.
So getting those messages from Chris is
And
I don't know that people realize the encouragement. You and I decided we were detached from the outcome when we started this.
Yes.
We're not looking for. This is just about building relationships and showing people that this is possible, and bringing that hallway conversation to a technological electronic platform.
There you go. Yeah.
That being said, when someone says, "Hey, I listened," and this, like having Jeff on and having him reference Tatey,
Yep.
and then I saw Mike grab that snippet and put it on his story.
Yeah.
And I messaged Mike and I was like, "Listen, man, this is the whole entire crux of what we're doing. You spoke, you opened up, you were willing to share, and Mike's a pretty masculine dude, right?
Yeah.
But was willing to go deep, which I absolutely love.
Loved it. Yeah.
You just don't know how it's going to affect somebody. And here's Jeff saying, I needed that sentence
At that time.
So,
Yep.
So those things, and so listeners, listen, thank you for that, for listening, participating. So we thought it would be cool to open up and get some questions and just kind of roll through. We really didn't know how it was going to play out. We're all Ben and Brick and I were sort of like, oh, what if we only get 3 questions? And we wound up with a nice cross section and just thought to ourselves like, this is a good opportunity to hear from listeners, from guests, things like that, and just unpack things. So we want to dig into a question and see kind of.
Just a thank you.
Yeah.
And gratitude for the listeners
100%.
who sent in questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
do it.
Perhaps we'll do it again, at some point in the future, but we'll unpack the schedule toward the end of the show. But so this is from Pat Kimmy. He works with the Chisholms at Aspen. And this was a pretty interesting question because he said, so I'll pose the question and I'll kind of have you dig in and then I'll sort of give an answer and we'll create a little banter, but we'll try to fully unpack. We want to give the questions the honor and the time necessary to unpack them in a way. And hopefully this helps and it helps the other listeners as well. But he just asks, how would or could a ground guy perform an AR, an aerial rescue? And I think what this comes down to is, and I'll just start with one sort of little preface.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
This really comes down to a question of when you have an active job site, and this is a lot easier said than done, should you only have one person who's able to be aloft? Now, if you're running a small company like me, right now I have my son and 2 new guys. There's no way I'm asking one of those guys to try to rescue my kid. Now, most of the time he's in a lift or a bucket, but even that can have a malfunction, right? So that's the question. How would or could a ground guy perform an AR? So I'm going to let you kind of dig in first if you're cool with that.
No, I'm cool with it.
And then I'll either retort and add, and then I have some thoughts that I wrote down. So what are your thoughts on that process?
Yeah. So this is how I always approach everything. Is there's rules for a reason.
Yeah.
The rules are as graphic as it sounds. It's written in blood. That's just the reality. Is they came up with an idea. What would be a good way, a blanket way to set up a rule that will kind of take care of everybody, and it comes out of experience. I believe if you're above 12 feet, you need to have a second person on the ground that's qualified in an area rescue. That's the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Based on situations, companies, workforce, however you want to, word it. It's not ideal. It's not going to work for most people. It's just how it is. Myself included, being that I put a lot of time into the craft and I work for a municipality.
Mm-hmm.
The best guy that I have, if I'm along the spar or the trunk, he'll be able to do what he has to do. But when am I along the trunk or the spar? Towards the end of the job, there's a lot of things I'm doing where I'm out on limbs and height and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, what happens, in my opinion, what needs to happen is it's an outside of the job commitment that you need to make with your coworker. That's when you guys need to spend time with each other to, climber to ground guys, to teach him or her basically what you can do in an area rescue. Now, if the ground person is not really willing to be a climber, that's fine.
Sure.
The thing is, if you can get up to your buddy coworker, that is super duper valuable to the EMT, EMS, firefighters that show up on the scene. I've learned this through the competition scene or competition, career, is the hardest thing is getting to the victim, right? Yep. So getting to the victim and then having information that you can work with to figure out what the best course of action is. Everybody thinks is get the person down. We've learned that over time that it's like, that's cool, but that depends on the situation, right?
Yeah.
Where you could cause more issues.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anything, I highly suggest and encourage that the ground people start asking. Unfortunately, you're going to have to do it on your own time. You're not going to get paid for it. Yeah. But not getting paid for something that, if it were to happen and you're able to fall back on training and be a part of something that's going to save somebody's life or minimize the damage that they have, is way more valuable than any salary that you're going to make for a company or owning a company or whatever, in my opinion.
I agree. Because
a person's life is worth what? Nobody has a value on it. It's infinite, right?
Yep.
So what was his name? Patrick.
Yep.
Right, Patrick. Yep. I'm assuming, based on that question, you're a ground person, not really a climber. Mm-hmm. Whoever your main climber that you work with, start building that relationship outside of work. Guys, pick a 20-foot tree, a 30-foot tree. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to demonstrate, demonstrate the ability to get up into the tree. Mm-hmm. Understand your climber's system. Yeah. Right? Because that's also a big part. And then at least you're familiar with, if something were to happen, I can get up to him. And at best, I'm offering the most valuable thing I can offer. Is information to firefighters, EMS, any medical personnel that needs that information to figure out what to do. Yeah. That's it. And I'll literally end it there, because the rest of the scenario and the rescue, I mean, that's going to be all depending on what happens. But that is so valuable, what I've learned in the last couple of years in the competition scene.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And that's good. It's kind of weird. When I read it, the first thing I thought of was just going right back to my CPR first aid training, which is don't become a second victim. So that's literally that was the first just intrusive thought that I had.
Yeah. I love just, so for the listeners, I love that. And that is definitely something that should be the first thing.
Right.
Before my so thank you for that.
Yeah, and again, it's just, but that's the training, right? It's like I've been first on a couple car accident scenes, 3 to be exact, and it's been drilled into my head so much now. I mean, there's guys like Steve Canale who lived this, like this was their job. This was, and I'm sure he could wax philosophical and teach us all something about this, and hopefully we get him to unpack some of that someday.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That being said, I remember something happened on 295 and there was a crash that occurred in front of me and the car burst into flames. And my first thought was get out, because traffic stopped. But I was in the lane and my lane traffic stopped. Okay. And I went to open the door and the first thought I had was don't be a second victim. So I paused and I looked to make sure no one was coming in the lane I was about to step into. So the training kind of paid off.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the first thing I thought of. We want to do something, but sometimes if there's going to be and again, this is just a blunt, awful reality of an accident happening. It is horrific. I hope it never happens on one of my job sites. I know it happens in our industry too often. But the last thing you want to do is do something at the cost of life and limb to yourself. And now you've got two people hurt. So that's a huge thing. Just a couple things I thought of, and these are just, that was the first thing I wrote was don't become a second victim. I love what you said. So I would say that, go back and listen to what Frick said. But also off the top of my head, one of the things I thought of was there are certain scenarios, and we've talked about this, there's so much to unpack with the whole basal anchor thing, and is it a lowerable system? And I think there are safety concerns with that.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Climbers will talk about that, loading forces, but also can the line be cut, different things. If you're out and you're redirected through multiple things, how lowerable is it? Are you lanyarded in?
There you go.
I have my lanyard around something. If I'm working, I'm lanyarded in.
Mm-hmm. So I want to, full disclosure, yes. I was one of the people that got super excited about basal anchor rescues, to the point I dove into, which is normal. I dive into things. I try to be part of the creative process, and I loved it.
Yep.
And so full disclosure, I admit, I was one of those people. I'm like, yeah, we could do this and that. And there's several people that have, of more of a mind that were like, that's great, but what happens if you're lanyarded in? And I'm like, didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
So every tool has its place, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of, I'd like to think what I said before kind of makes the point. Not only are you working with the climber that you're working with on your own time to figure out how to do the rescue, you're understanding his system.
Yes.
Because more likely than not, the system is usually repetitive, meaning if you're a moving rope person, you're probably going to be doing that on all of the jobs, minus a couple.
Yeah.
If you're SRS, all of the job minus. If you're a basal anchor, all of the job. Like very rare is it like a full mix every job.
Sure.
So if you know your climber's system, what they do, then you can kind of have a fast track rescue plan.
Yeah.
The day when you're climbing.
Yeah. No, that's perfect.
Yeah. So.
And I think what I would say is there are some fundamental things, and I'm going to unpack some notes that I have here too as well. But I think there are some fundamental things that happen before we get to an AR situation, right? So it's like you go through that assessment from the ground, right? You find someone's hurt, they're struck, they're hanging, it could be anything from, multiple bee stings and they're allergic, to they have an arm. It could be a multitude of things that happen. So, you would basically start with an assessment, Now, if you're on comm, that's great. You can talk directly to I always use the name Bill, but it's like, Bill, yeah. You okay? You good? And if they're conscious. And so right away, you're making assessments from the ground. You're doing all the things that you should be doing. Those wheels should be turning already. The 911 call goes in, you're doing protocol stuff. That stuff should be practiced.
There you go. Yeah.
Right? Start there. Then my thing is like, if we're doing a proper and well-defined, job assessment. What am I trying to? Safety brief.
Job briefing?
Yeah, there's,
you got it though.
For some reason, the term, I know what I mean. You have your sheet, right?
Yeah.
That should be worked in, right? So it's like, okay, I'm here. He's the only climber or she's the only climber. I'm a ground-based person. I tell my kid, I'm like, look, man, drive that bucket truck through the fence.
Yeah.
So I think we have to have a protocol.
No.
And that should be, so those things will keep us and drilling that, but then making it job specific for that thing till we get to that point. Right. And then all the things you said would be added kind of on top. Hey,
that was perfect.
I'm doing this and I'm going to have a cannabis. Like I think about Derek when Derek comes. Now, Mason knows how to climb, but Mason hasn't drilled AR.
Yeah.
And Derek's going to be in positions
Yeah.
where I know Mason cannot get to.
Correct.
And Derek does this with multiple crews. All the contract guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know, you're maybe, you know, a lot of your clients are small business operators, or like maybe like me, it's an older guy. There are certain things I don't really want to take on anymore, admittedly. So I'm going to step back and keep those for Derek for his 2 days a month that he comes in and helps us out. Mason's learning and growing, and this is actually unpacking an area for me. This is going to be addressed.
Okay.
Full disclosure. But you know, talking about things like access lines, like, hey, I'm going to be here, and as I work this quadrant of the tree, I'm going to take 30 seconds, and here's an access line, and having that stuff preset. Either there's a bag at the base of the tree, like a rescue bag. Like there's so many little things I believe we can do and set in place before we get to the ground.
I like that too, because there's I heard it from Inky Johnson. He's a motivational speaker.
Okay.
Great guy. Check him out. But I'm pretty sure it might come from the Navy SEALs or something. But it's like, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your trainer.
Yes.
Which means everybody thinks they're gonna, like, kind of like when you open that car door, is you right? I'm gonna be a hero, and then you die because you got hit by a car. Yeah. But if you fall back on the training, you're like, oh wait, I gotta look before I step out. So you see what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of, so if you work on the things that you said first, I like that, because that's the fallback training you want. You want what I talked about, but you can't get there without doing all the other stuff.
Correct.
So that's good.
So it's like, you know, talking about, you know, Patrick here. It's like, listen, it's a lot to put on yourself if you're not a climber, or if you have an incredibly non-ability to climb. Maybe that's your big fear. I can do all these things on the ground.
Yeah, sure.
To put yourself in a position where you're not comfortable there. Yeah. Do the things you can do. Do those things you can do, right? You call 911, you make the assessment, you try to talk to your person up there. You know, even having a set of binoculars close by, and if the person's unconscious, can you see? Are they bleeding? Like, all these things we can do.
Information.
Yeah, information. Giving that good, the good data to the people that are coming, and giving them a great synopsis of where exactly you are, where you are on the property, an estimation of height, how they're tied in. And this gives the rescue people coming on site an opportunity to say, we're going to need these items. Yeah. You know, this isn't just we go out with a ground-based bag and come on the scene. No, we have to, someone's got to be able to get a loft and help get this person.
Yeah, which helps them with their plan.
Yeah, and it's going to help, probably in most cases, expedite.
Sure.
You know, so just some side things I had is, you know, while the groundman isn't meant to be the primary rescuer, they do have a critical life-saving role. So don't step back from that, right? You're going to do the initial hazard assessment, communicate, assist in lowering process if possible, you know, aerial descent. But, you know, the big warning is an improperly performed aerial rescue can result in another injury. Yes. So don't become a second victim. You know, assess the situation, mitigate any other hazards maybe around as somebody comes on your job site. You know, establish that communication, speak to the climber, reassure them about their condition. Already call that 911, make the call, prepare the equipment, assisting the aerial rescuer. So these things are, and you know, listen, as an owner, I have a duty as an owner, but also if I'm just the sales rep working for someone, I should be identifying potential hazards. On the job site, right? Hey, you know, the tree's over here. It's along the roadway. You know, there's wires. Hornet's nest. I have binoculars. I look, you know, there's hornet's nest. I mean, a multitude, all the things, right? Sure. All the things. I know, but definitely.
Yeah. So I guess if you're speaking to the owners, and, you know, the owners that are listening, then
owners and sales representatives.
Absolutely.
And listen, as a rep for my company, I can tell you can get on this track where you're just like, I have 8 appointments today. Bang, 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 bang. Sometimes I forget to tell them to bring a certain piece of gear, or I'm like, hey, do we need an 811 on this stump? Mason's there. He's like, hey, the stump's on the curb. I don't see flags. I'm like, listen, man, just hold off.
Yeah.
Let it sit. Let the client know, like, we'll come back and grind, but let's get the 811. So if I can forget that detail, am I taking that minute to look actually at, or has this become rote? And I'm cranking out bids. And
you're guilty.
I get there. I have to pause and reassess. Having this conversation is going to make me better next week when I'm out doing my.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, so. You got what I'd like to add. Again, this is the benefit of competing. You compete too. But for the listeners, including Patrick, if you don't know what to do, go to ISA website, and they'll have the rules of the competition. And you go to area rescue and go right to the chart at the end of the book or the bottom of the page, and it'll give you like the point system of how it works. And that's a great way to just be like, oh, did you call 911? And then you'll see the step-by-step process through that.
Incredible.
So I think that'll be like a fun and a good way to kind of come up with your own rescue plan.
Yeah.
Because it's already doing it for you anyway, but like it just you can make it yours in a way. But at least you know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the rescue.
Yeah. And I would only just add this. Whatever makes you comfortable. In other words, okay, Patrick, you're on the ground, you're on a job site, you see what's going on. If there's something you can do or have on the job site, some little process that you develop for yourself on each of these projects you're on, implement it yourself. Take ownership of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like say, hey, I'd like to have a bag with this. I want to know where the nearest, like all the things we're supposed to be doing, having that SPOC, that single point of contact for 911, like get your plan laid out so that at least what you are very confidently able to do, that it's repeatable, that you do those things. Yeah. The other stuff is an add-on. And if you can get to that point where you can actually get to someone, fine.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself at risk, but do those things that you can do and own them.
Own it. Ownership. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, I do.
So, how do we feel about that? We feel
I feel good.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know that it's binary. It's not like, hey, how can a ground guy, you should learn to do it and you have to. No, because not everybody's wired that way. And if it's going to put you at risk, not worth it.
No. And I want to say, I mean, you can too because you competed as well, but competition is obviously timed and different.
Yep.
So is a life, meaning depending on how severe it is.
Yeah.
But just got to trust it. Take ownership of the training that you have.
Yes.
That's what you're going to fall back on anyway. So, like, just don't make it to where it's just like weird or only competition climbers do it.
Yeah.
Like, turn that into your thing. So, I love what you said with the ownership,
Yep.
But I think we nailed all the points.
We control the controllables. We talk about it all the time.
Exactly.
What am I... and listen, we have a ceiling, right? Okay, right now, here's what I'm comfortable doing. So I'm going to operate here and I'm going to master this.
Yes, exactly.
What I'd like to learn is this next, I love you mentioned like 12 feet. All right, so I'm going to learn how to go. How high was Glenn when he fell out of the birch? It wasn't high.
No, it wasn't super high. No,
right?
No.
So
I want to say 30 tops.
So say to yourself, okay, I'm comfortable getting to X.
Yeah.
And try to repeat that. Like you can always take that ceiling and just
one step outside your comfort zone.
One step outside your comfort zone.
Yep. Yeah.
So that may be another way to think about it moving forward. All right. Yeah. So we feel good about that?
I feel great. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. All right. So this is a fun one, and this is a little open-ended. So I got this guy, Chad Tucker. He's Chad Tucker 532 on Instagram. Dude's a unit. Like I see pictures of him. He's jacked. We've had some really great personal exchanges via DM. Some real good stuff. I love that he's following. I love the banter that we have here and there. So Chad, man, thanks for participating, sending us a question. I actually love this question. And I've unpacked some notes. Again, I'm going to just kind of volley over to you. So Chad's kind of asking like, hey, I've been 7 years in the industry and I would like some steps to become a better arborist. Brick, you have the floor.
Yeah.
Here goes the next 3 hours.
Exactly.
Because we talk about this a lot, but I think it's what a great question.
It is.
There's a guy.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I love it because, like, what's the point of being in the tree industry? We got that's it. That's the point.
Oops.
Yeah. No. What's the point of? I mean, this is my how I look at it. But what is the point of being in the tree industry if you're not going to be an arborist? It's just yeah. You can trees and a technician and that's great. But like ultimately, I've said it many times before on other episodes. We're working with a living organism, even if it dies and whatever. But the idea is like there should be reverence for that.
Yeah.
You should be going in that direction, and that direction is how you become an arborist.
Yeah.
So, for Chad, right?
Yep.
Chad's question directly is, I mean, just starting with a generic. ISA is known to be the one that has, and I don't mean basic in a derogatory way, but just the idea of like an entry level way to take study, take a test, become a certified arborist. There's a little bit of an honor to it.
Yep.
And then there's essentially, a ladder you can start working up towards. Yep. The end, for what I know, the end result being ISA offers BMCA.
Yeah.
Right. Big Board Master Certified Arborist.
Yep.
Paul and I were in New Jersey. We have the licensed tree expert. From my understanding, there's equivalence.
Yep.
Equal, very hard test. You really got to be dedicated, put time in, study, and everything else. But even then, when you get that certification, doesn't mean you're done.
Yep.
So I even actually wrote this for another question. I wrote down that it's a lifelong. It ends up being a lifelong journey.
There it is.
As an arborist, meaning like you never get to the point of I'm an arborist and you're done. That's not how it works.
Well, just one quick interjection that I made, and I might even have said this on here, is like I could have, and same with you, stopped learning and continued to run my business 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Like I have the skills necessary to earn a living.
Correct.
Trimming, cutting, whatever, but
that's it. Whatever that is. I love it.
Yeah.
And perfect. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like that's why and it's kind of a separate conversation, but the whole concept of new school and old school techniques and systems. And I will tell you right now, I'm not even like I consider myself as a competitor, but I'm not entirely competitive in the aspect against other people. It's just with myself.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, since I came from that background, I'll run a taut line and I'll climb a tree. If we could have two identical trees, I will 100%. And you want to race? Let's go. I have no problem with it. The point I'm bringing up is that you can use the old school system and still get the job done. You can do tree work and make a living, like you said, and that's fine. But what happens to your body then?
Hey, good point.
Your body, you're gonna get beat up in 10 years, 15 years. Let's just go, whatever. But all the people I know a significant amount that still run the old system, they're still crushing it.
Yep.
But one's 50. He's like, I'm done. Like it's just reality. It's hard on your body with the old school system. Still effective to get the job done. Same thing as a non-arborist. At some point, what are you doing? Like you're gonna not have appreciation for the craft. Yep. You're gonna run into some a breakdown of your pursuit. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I want to say brain rot. You're gonna have brain rot. Right. Okay. Like it's gonna happen because you're gonna like you're not an arborist. These are objective obstacles. So I genuinely believe that at some point you're just gonna run into a wall and just be like, "This is stupid. I don't want to do this anymore."
Well, I love this because it's tying to the prior conversation about staying invigorated.
Yeah, yes, correct.
That pursuit of knowledge and learning something new.
Correct.
Whether it's a new tree part, right? Oh, I didn't know that. I can look at the twig set at the end of the branch, and if it shrinks year to year, I know the tree's having a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty cool. And now I'm looking at it all the time. Or like I'm going back to Athena, like how she's like, I pick a plant on a job. And I see what can this thing do, either edibly, medicinally. Yep. So that little factoid is like that invigorates and it gives a point of interest, right?
Yeah.
So what you're saying completely.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And with that being said, that's the reason for being an arborist. Yeah. So I'll say one thing. For the people that are ISA members, I'm pretty sure you still get the Arborist news.
Yeah.
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 So this is back in the day when it was, what I remember is a little bit more of a climate-oriented section.
Mm-hmm.
And I still remember it to this day, but there's a picture of and it's a cartoon drawing,
Mm-hmm.
like anime drawing style,
Yeah.
but of a climber's face, but split in the middle. But one half is a arborist helmet, normal person's face with the safety glasses, and the other half is the arborist, like a creature that is for the trees. And the whole point was like it was brains and bronze. Like, so the arborist with the guy with the helmet is the guy that can climb the tree, technician. He knows, he sees this and do this and cut here and all that. But the other one was the being that's connected with the trees.
Wow.
So
I never saw that.
I would love to find it, but
I'd love to see
it's really cool because the idea is that the point is to put them together.
Wow.
And I believe Mo Chisholm actually in his talks about this. The idea is that the best person to have in a tree is the merging of both.
Wow.
So so for Chad, sure, there are steps. Start with ISA, certified arborist, get the book, study for it, take your time, pass it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. You did it, you got it.
Process.
But the world is so big.
Yeah.
So I know you got Alex Shigo, and you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Hopefully I nailed the points.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I went a little more point by point, just factual kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I'm going to tie it to the essence of the podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Join something. I've never been a big joiner, but one of the greatest decisions I ever made was finding my local ISA chapter, or New Jersey. Now we're NJA ISA. Mm-hmm. This is how you and I met.
Exactly.
Attending events. Rick Yost and I are dear. Like the whole community of guests that we're running through the podcast, a lot of them we're like-minded because we're in these environments. So it's like, it's that old cliche. And it's like the Tony Robbins, we become like the 5 people we spend the most time with. So if arborist is what you want to become and you want to become better, seek those out that are doing the thing you want and that you see as doing it at a high level, and be around them, right? So we joined NJA ISA, 30 plus years ago. Chisholm family, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. Go back to episode 1 and 2, right?
Yep.
Join. And then I just even wrote, join and start to attend things. Yeah. Like our chapter has Garden State Tree Conference.
Yep.
So that's where they're going to bring speakers in. They're going to talk. The issue becomes,
even if you're not a certified arborist, you can still go.
Yeah. You're going to be on a track and a journey. Hopefully, that's a lifelong process.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, you talk about this a lot, just that lifelong learning. But yeah, attending the conferences, learning, get the ISA study guide. You mentioned Shigo. I'll just give you ISA study guide is one way to get great information. One of my favorite little books is Modern Arboriculture by Shigo, with sketch drawings, the body language of trees, diseases of trees, Sinclair book, plant diseases and their management, like these types of things. But ultimately, it's getting in the community, and then even attending things like Workday, saluting branches. I know the challenge, Chad, can become, how do we take the time? I'll just flip it on you and say, how do we not? So if the goal, set that goal and have that be a guiding principle in your life, that you want to get better and pursue these things, but then our schedule has to reflect what we say we believe. And that's one of my life principles. Oh, I value truth and honesty. Hey, I dropped this and I cracked the concrete. Just, rub some dirt in it and just the last thing I feel like doing is, well, you either take the fact that you value honesty off of your list of things or tell the client and fix it.
Exactly. There's no in between.
There's no in between. And so that's what living a principle-centered, goal-centered life is about, right? So, hey, I want to be a better arborist. then we just have to set about becoming that. And these are some of the small steps. And just find your local chapter. Chad, I don't, forgive me, I don't remember where you are hailing from, but I guarantee there's a chapter somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, even joining ISA on your own. I don't remember if Chad's an owner operator, if he's working for someone. I feel like he's doing his own thing. Mm-hmm. But and honestly, TCIA, with all of their, you know, what we try to do is we're just onboarding some new guys, and I want to run them through all those basic little books. Yep. Starting somewhere, even with the stuff you already know.
Yes.
And just getting those TCIA books, you know, chainsaw safety and operation. Well, now I'm looking at a printed item with questions. I get it. I get my cert. I get a helmet sticker. I get a patch. Work through that whole set of books, because now that technical stuff that you learned in the field, you're now putting the sort of the paper behind it. Mm-hmm. And you'll roll through those first ones that, you know, and you might even pick up a little fact or two that you're like, you know what, I didn't realize this.
Yeah.
So even when I was putting my guys through it early on, I was rereading the books just to kind of go, are there any gaps that I'm not seeing?
That you're missing.
And I want to consistently teach what they're learning as well.
Yeah, just a replicable, is it? You know, you can replicate it.
Yes.
Replicatable.
But there you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
That's like a tongue twister.
It is. But I know what you mean. Like this way, you can be consistent as different people coming to it. Yeah.
And then of course, and I know you know this. It's not a mystery, but the teaching. So find a mentor or mentors, join, learn, grow, get the books. You know, pick one book up at a time and just work your way through it. But then also be mentoring. There's someone on your team that you're teaching. So now you become this conduit. You're taking information in, you're learning, right? And then you
have to articulate it.
Yes.
To somebody.
And so that teaching just deepens those mental grooves of learning.
Absolutely.
So we kind of want to be on that continuum of doing
That's
both.
Good. That's a good one.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. I would just add one, because
100%.
Yeah, it's I'm laughing and smiling because I always go on a deep level, but Chad and anybody else that's interested in this process, using visualization while getting involved in this, I think will help you. Meaning, for example, if you were able to speed up your life to match the time that a tree grows, you'll be able to see the tree grow in real time. Okay. Deep, right?
Please unpack that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we watch a tree grow?
Right now.
No, I'm asking.
Yeah.
We can't.
No,
right?
no.
It doesn't happen. But we know it grows.
Sure.
Okay. The idea is that, from what I see, is that you have to speed up your life even faster just to see the growth of the tree. In my opinion, not slow it down. Right. So you will see it grow in front of you in real time. Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you read the book, especially Shigo's coded compartmentalization and all, you visualize that. Use that. Be like, if you saw it in real time, visualize that. And then what happens is the information that you're reading, you can visualize it happening. Like, oh, okay, so wall 1 is this point, wall 2, wall 3, wall 4, and you're like, oh, I can see it happening now.
Yes.
And that'll help you remember, like, oh, okay, number 1 is a living organism that you have reverence for, but also like this cool process is happening, but the information is real. It's real time for you. Mm-hmm. You said about the branch growing, like each year grows. So if there's a drought, then you have a short. Yeah. So visualize, you look in the whole thing, visualize what happened that year. Yep. Tree rings, we know about after you cut it, that these were good seeds and bad seeds. Mm-hmm. Visualize it. Yep. And it's just an entertaining way to see a tree grow and then have you remember that process. Yeah. Not only for the test, but also as you make recommendations on what this tree needs and where to make the cuts, proper cuts, injection, fertilization, and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's something I try to tell people that are getting into it. There's a lot of dry information in the book.
Sure.
Right? That's why you like illustrations, especially tree people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because illustrations give us our brain like this visual
Yes.
of the thing, of the dry information.
Yep.
Alex Shigo was really good at understanding the dry information.
Yes.
Right?
That's what I loved about him, man.
Exactly.
So high-minded, so bright,
super
and
bright,
just knew like this
crazy.
is how these guys, and absolutely loved the people that touched trees.
And like, yeah, yes. And I learned that from you.
Yeah.
Like he was so excited. He was like, yeah, please take this
Yes.
information, go in the trees, do the thing.
He had an affinity for, and actually I stole some. I have like a tree museum. It's all these weird tree parts and old cuts and different things. And we would do like a local, like, it's Swedesboro Day.
Yeah,
and people, they shut the street down, and I would set up a booth and put all these out. And my sign said, "Please touch."
Yeah,
because I got that from him. But I wanted. Kids are so often told, don't touch.
Don't touch.
And the parents come along and they're like, "Don't touch that, Billy." And I'm like, "No, please touch it.
Yeah, please
touch it, pick it up, look at it."
Yeah.
But I love what you're saying, and this is my encouragement. Like, what I used to love to do is look at a Shigo drawing. Okay. Say like he had, and I'll give a specific answer. He's got a section, a drawing of a tree that had been topped, and then all those sprouts coming. Mm-hmm. And he would describe like where the decay, poorly attached. And then I would be out on a job, and I'd be maybe removing a tree that was topped, and I'd see that, and I'd put it on the ground, and I'd rip through it with my saw and open it. And I'd go, this was in the book. Here's wall 4. Here's, here's why it's bad. Here's the decay column. These are poorly attached. So that stuff comes to life.
Yeah, it comes to life.
And it's like, it's exciting.
It is exciting.
And that drives and fuels a passion.
Yes.
And hopefully that starts it spins up that desire to want to continue to learn and grow.
Yeah, lifelong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully that gets them going.
Yeah, get the juices flowing.
It's just not, it is not just a certification.
Yeah.
That's the thing I've noticed. I'm not saying names or people, but I've noticed people pursue things for the certification to, make more money.
Or it's just a flower in the cap. It's like, hey, I'm sorry. We had a thing in martial arts. It was like, and I kind of love this, and you'll dig this. And I didn't realize this was true, but anyway, black belt, master of the basics, certified arborist.
There you go.
You've mastered the basics.
There you go.
Now you're building a database. Now you have a code of ethics to live by. Now you have a way of now looking at the tree with information, but now making application, giving recommendations based on an expertise, building that database of all the things that you're learning and how different species respond to what you've been taught. Mm-hmm. And that's what creates that lifelong learning. And the cool thing, and I don't really know if this is true, but this is what I've heard from some old school, deep thinking. The belt rank system it wasn't a thing. It's a westernized, modernized goal setting thing, where it's like, you just wore a belt to keep your gi closed, and it was just white. It was white fabric. Yeah. But the more time you put on the mat, the dirtier it got. So that the students that had been at it the longest had the dirtiest, nastiest, sweatiest, which gives you the black belt.
The color, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
I don't know if that's an old tale or if that's true.
I mean, let's go with it's true, which I like. Yeah. But then apply that to being an arborist.
Yeah, well, that's
you want to be a master arborist.
Yes,
your
belt's got to
be
get
in the
dirty.
field. Yeah, you got to be in the field. Yeah. Spend time, do all that stuff, and then when you're 75 years old, you're a master arborist.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. I had to just put a feather in, and I'm just going to indulge myself for a second, but I have a couple other sort of high level guys that I use periodically to just bounce, like I have an idea or an opinion about a tree, particularly on a tree risk assessment.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll say I'll do it. I'll put it through, my track model or this or that, and I'll use my experience, and so there's a guy, Mike LaManna. He's around here, local guy, super bright, been doing it a while. And I remember talking to him about this one specific oak tree. And I was like, hey, here's what I think. And I was like, this might sound weird. And I was like, but I feel like I have this, I don't want to say intuition, but like a good gut. And he goes, I hear what you're saying. And he's like, and yes, he's like, but you're 45 years into your career. He's like, your gut is informed by your database.
There you go.
He's like, how many times have you seen this? and then remove the tree and then look at the decay. And he's like, so yes, your gut, but your gut is informed by your database. So he really got me thinking differently about, and I'm blessed by the fact that I've got clients. I've been on property, some for literally 30 years, pruning, going back, looking, response, different species, and you build this database. So that's where the mastery comes in. It's not so much like I have 45 years and that my experience, because if it's bad experience and if I've been repeating stupidity for 45 years, you're not learning anything. No. It's the pursuit.
Yep.
And it's being willing to look at your books and go back, and then sitting in a seminar last year and having Lindsay Purcell and Tom, was it Smiley?
I don't know.
But they did a thing on pruning where they're now changing terms, first order limb, second order limb.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm going, this is great. Like, man. So a lot of it I've been doing, but they're giving me new terms, and I want to fully embrace this whole new thing. At 42 years in. Yeah. So that's it.
That's it.
Lifelong.
I love it. You nailed it. The excitement that you just had after 42 years is what we're trying to tell Chad.
Right.
Being an arborist, not just a test. It's a lifelong thing, and gives you not every day. Like that's not.
Sure.
We know that, but we're talking about over time. You're always going to be inspired to keep going. It doesn't stop.
No, I like that. All right. Cool. No, I think that was good. Hopefully, and Chad knows he can DM me anytime.
That's true. Yeah.
Are we good right now? Or do we want to go on to the next question?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's
all right.
roll.
So, Andrew Breitbart, I don't know if it's Breitbart or Breitbarth. I'm thinking it's Bart. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Andrew, don't mean to
offend you.
Yeah, butcher your name. I'm Beaster, I get Beister all the time. So, he wrote on here just about educating clients. How do we go? And I think I have his question. I'm going to actually refer to my phone real quick if that's okay. Yeah. Ben was kind enough to, again, we're keeping this raw and real, people. Like, this doesn't have to be completely polished. Let me get to it on here. It is. So, hey, I just wanted to throw in a question, if I may. I find it very informative and interesting to hear what you all have to say about the subject of educating clients on proper tree health and crossing that bridge from, hey, the tree just takes care of itself, to what residential homeowner needs to ensure longevity and safety. If you have any tips or tricks on the way this point is made, that would be great. So I think that's a very good and deep question. And I think it ties very nicely to Chad's, because you're taking this sort of approach, this different, we make the distinction often between the arborist mentality and just the tree person. So how do we utilize what we know as an arborist and move that into the public square?
Correct. Yeah.
What say you, Brick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in like 19 or 1800s the way you said that, but
yes. What say you?
Yeah, right. I mean, listen, I'm sure you can agree. The basics, you try to educate the people. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But what I have tried, I just like I get stuck in between. What I have tried to do is tell the homeowners that, and this is after breaking the ice a little bit. But I'm like, listen, what is the best way to change to change the world? What is it?
Well, that just got real heavy.
To change yourself.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah.
I mean, you put you on the spot.
No, I'm like, wait, what? Huh?
No.
Humana.
Oh no. No, but you've heard the phrase before, right? Like you really want to change the world.
Yeah.
Look at yourself, change yourself, work on yourself, the whole thing, right? It's the same thing. You have a plot of land that you own, whatever. That's the way to do it. So I'm educating you to take care of what's on your land. And so I want you to become passionate about what's on your land. So you have, and this homeowner, let's just go, you have a red oak over here. You have a weeping cherry over here, and a red maple in the front. That's all you have, and then you have grass in between. You just educate them, like, listen, these 3 trees are your responsibility on this plot of land. Forget about the whole world right now. Are you willing to do everything you can to make sure that these 3 trees thrive in this plot of land this microclimate, and then then you go into that whole thing. That's my favorite thing to do with clients, homeowners, is just kind of get them to be like, hold on a second, yeah, you're right. I am responsible for these. Like, I called you to tell me what's going on, but now you educate them as best as you can and be like, listen, become a steward for the trees on your little plot of land.
Yeah.
Now, probably going back to when we first started, just kind of rolling into the podcast, the 80-20, Pareto principle.
Yeah.
Not all homeowners or clients are going to care about it.
My sense, real quick to interrupt, is that this is probably what he's running up against.
That's exactly, yeah.
Because as an owner, this is, and we're going to spend a little time here because I think it's valuable.
And I'm glad you said that because that would make sense, right? Yep. Otherwise, the question wouldn't be asked.
Correct.
Those people, unfortunately, like, it's just the way it is. Like, you do the same, spiel, preaching, do the whole thing, try to connect, build a relationship, educate them, do all that stuff. And then if they don't want to do it, they don't care, at least you tried. But there have been people that care.
Yeah.
And you just, it's almost like the same way as an owner, you want to invest into your workers. As a person who's providing tree services to a client, you're building a relationship with them. So now you're building a relationship by teaching them how to care for their trees.
Yep.
Being hopefully a lifelong tree person for them, and then taking care of that journey as well.
Yep.
But that's what I found is just more of the same way that you want to change the world, you have to start with yourself.
Yep.
You want to change the world with and again, I'm not going into this and saying I agree, but global warming and this and that. It's like, well, listen, where can you start?
Yep.
The land that you have.
No, I agree. And I just want to make sure that I really frame that question. Let's see. I think proper tree health, crossing the bridge, the tree takes care of itself. So are you good with where you, okay. Because what I'm going to, there's one little part of this that I think is I'm going to get real specific and then kind of broaden out from there. Okay. Sure. He specifically asked, crossing the bridge of the tree will just take care of itself to what the residential homeowner needs. And I'm going to go into that relational part where you get pushback sometimes, but I'm going to start with, how do we talk about the tree not taking care of itself? Well, even in the ideal setting, it's a hostile world, right? So the tree's in the forest and it's competing. So it's hostile. It's a hostile environment. Survival is hostile. This world basically wants to kill everything. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. It's survival.
Yeah.
In the forest, and this has been a good segue for me with people because they're like, well, what's wrong with the tree? And what, most times they think it's a pest, a disease or something. And I'm like, listen, just for a second, let me stop you and say, think about the forest. Have you ever gone for a hike or a walk in the woods think about the forest floor. What does it look like? Does it look like your lawn? Does it even look like your mulched bed? Your mulched bed is trying to mimic, in the right application of what mulch is supposed to be. It's supposed to be adding organic matter and mimic the forest floor, right? So you have decades and decades and decades of leaf litter, and you know how it is. You got the loose leaves on there, and you dig down, and it goes down until you get to the particulate. And I mean, I'm not a soil scientist, but as an arborist, we're supposed to have a little knowledge about what that looks like. So oftentimes that's a segue for me to say, listen, your trees, first of all, they're meant to live in that, and they're meant to live in community with other trees. Same species, multiple species. They communicate in a way that we don't even really fully understand. I had a client the other day. They had these oaks all leaf scorched out, and there was a neighbor's that was like perfect. And I'm like, listen, man, it's nature. and these trees suffered, it's potentially that they signaled the other tree, this is happening, chemically, and this other tree figured out a way to kind of like, and now it's like, I'm not saying I know, but this is the possible reality, a possible reality.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not the deep scientist that understands the hows and whys it happens. I just know it does and can.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times for me, it's simple as that. Like your trees are living in this lawn. There's concrete. There's reflective heat. The canopy's not the same. So oftentimes they need some intervention from us. They also have to fit in spaces that they weren't, when trees are competing, what are they doing? Now you've got this open grown tulip poplar that's now developing this large, heavy limb structure, or silver maple that we know are self pruners, right? They get long leverage limbs and 20% of the end snaps off. And so it can start as simple as something like that, to let them know, like, this is why arborists exist. We're kind of managing the urban, suburban setting for trees, which is an unnatural environment for them.
Correct. Yeah.
So this is where the science of arboriculture was born, of that sort of urban forestry, if you will, right? So sometimes it's as simple as having that conversation. It's being humble too. Like, we have the knowledge, they have Google, they have AI now. They can ask a lot of questions, and a lot of times you go out and, well, I looked at this and I thought it was that, and let them unpack it. Let them and say, listen, I know how you feel. I've kind of seen some of that. What I found in my experience is this, and just be willing to be open and humble and present the knowledge in a way that is more easily digestible. Like if I start talking about vascular cambium and
just over their head.
If they're a scientist, like there's times they're like, well, I'm an engineer, and I'm like, okay. Now, you can adjust your message based on what you think they'll understand. But I think crossing that bridge of trees taking care of themselves, it's as simple as they live in that hostile environment. And a lot of times what I try to do is I let my passion, I'm going to completely go into a tangent here, but I think it's applicable. When you go to a seminar, and you have a scientist who's giving you facts, figures, and charts, the information is solid, but they're like this. Or you have someone who's got a couple charts, pictures, and they're passionate.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer?
Passionate one. Okay. 100%.
Right. And I think that's the case for most of us and most people, I would think. There's times when I have these scientist-y people, and I'm like, they're amazing. Their mind is, and I'm glad they're the ones doing the study. But I find it really hard to sit through your seminar. And I think for me, what I like to think is I let a little bit of that passion out of the bag for the client.
Oh yeah, same.
Hey, what do you have? Oh, I got this. I'll give you an example because it was yesterday. Huge honey locust. Guy's like, I planted this, and I'm like, wow, I'm like, look at that vase-shaped habit. This is so cool. And so now the guy's knowing, I'm like, that is. And I'm like, hey, you know what? As a species, they're not even like really one of my favorites. But when you see a specimen and it's like that. And so now the guy's like, oh, okay. And I'm being real. It's not a put on.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, what I see a lot of times, and he has like some limbs like really protruding out, and they're over leveraged over the house. And I'm talking about proper pruning. And so I'm kind of, I'm letting that passion show a little bit, and then I'm bringing the facts in. So I'm not just giving them when I see these limbs like that, what they need to do is be crown reduced. Crown reduction is a perfect cut back to a lateral branch that's at least 1/3 the diameter of the size of the limb being cut. That's the science, and then species to species that can vary, and I can bend the rules with some species like Bradford pear, but this species of hardwood,
I do.
It's like, hey, no, man, like, that's a cool tree. Like, what? And then I might say, I'm like, well, what would you like to see happen here? And what prompted your call? What made you call about this tree? I hear it creaking, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's two crossing limbs through the center. I can see they're rubbing. This one I can address and take back to its point of attachment. The other one's big. I think maybe if we retrench it, we can work it back over 3 prunings.
Yeah.
And that's really the way to do it because the tree, and he's like, all right, cool. And I'm psyched about doing it that way, frequency and dose.
Yeah, same.
You know?
No, same. And you that's the teaching the client without teaching. That's
Correct.
just you being passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you allow a little bit of your love for what you're doing. Let them see it. Don't be afraid. Be humble. Take in their information. Invite them into the process. Because ultimately, especially if you're an owner operator, ultimately they're calling me for a reason.
Yeah.
I see a problem. I'm bringing you to this tree. This is one of my prize trees. I hear it. I see it. Something's going on. Tell me about what prompted you to call.
Yeah.
This, and this. Now I have an agenda.
Yep.
Okay. And now it may jive with what I see. And he may know what he sees, but may not know how to remedy it properly, which is why the arborist is on site.
Yeah.
And then and I use that analogy between the dry person and the passionate person to say that to start with facts and figures and processes probably won't resonate. People don't buy from, they buy like, and I don't mean, it's not like I'm trying to sell them, but they're not going to relate to someone that's unrelatable. Like the facts and figures and it's how am I making them feel?
Yeah.
Well, I love trees and your tree's cool.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even if it's a turd of a tree, I looked at one yesterday, it was a Norway maple previously whacked to snot by the power company. It's got all these nodes and you know how they respond.
Yeah.
And the lady's like, and shade. And so I talked to her and I see how I'm excited.
I know.
Because I'm like, this one is dead. It's probably got to come out. Let's take it down, grind it. I would recommend replanting.
Yeah.
This one, and maybe we underplant because in 5 years, this one might go.
Exactly.
So rather than deal with all of this at once, she's feeling a sense of overwhelm because there's 5 Norway maples on this property and none of them are great.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's like, I'm going to spend, 10 grand taking. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's manage this.
Yeah.
But it's that bringing your expertise and your passion.
Yeah.
I say that what we do is art rooted in science. It's
nice. Okay.
passion rooted in facts and figures.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go. That's good. That's it right there. Yeah. That's it. It's interesting because when you were talking, the recurring message is you build a relationship, not trying to build a relationship.
Yeah.
Meaning you're just being passionate. You're in the thing. You're just, and then a relationship. If the
Authenticity.
Correct.
Be yourself.
Yes. Be yourself. Yeah. But if you come in with facts in just a scientific way, you forget the sales part. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, you're boring them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Like the woman you said yesterday. 5 Norway maples on the property. Numbers and science is not going to work.
Correct.
She feels.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your job is to help her with figuring out how to unpack it and figure out what the best plan is, so she doesn't feel overwhelmed.
Yep.
And you build a relationship through that.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say that education is a byproduct of the passion.
I would say, and honestly, like should probably come secondary, right? Like, like
because and again, you start with education, it's fun, but the idea is sales. But if you just boom, 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 like obviously, my bad. Everything's all climbing related. I get into biology too, but I'm always, oh man, and the homeowner's like, what? I'm like, it's a good tree to climb in and have fun. Like, what do you climb that? And then it turns into, you go up there, like But I'm like, no, I'm being serious. Like, this is a specimen of a tree, like a beautiful structure. It's got a couple. We clean it up, and I would, the idea is to have, like, I'm having fun in the tree.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't. It's never. I love what you said, because you're talking about coming through passion, which goes back to Chad's thing, Arborist, and you turned into this person.
Yeah.
You speak with passion, but that education is the byproduct, and then hopefully the solution comes to the homeowner's happy. You're doing a job, so you get paid, and then both parties walk away happy.
Yeah, and I'm going to go on a little weird tangent now because outside, we're, capitalism and I think, and this is, hopefully people don't take this wrong, but the idea is like capitalism in and of itself, if it's done properly and it's true capitalism, is good.
Yeah.
You have something of value that you value, and I have a skill and a trade, and we're doing an even exchange.
Yeah.
And when I'm done, I'm super happy to do this work for you and provide this really cool service. And because of the way things are going to look when we're done and how you're going to feel about the experience, you want to exchange your finances. Like you're willing to pay for that. And so it's this really mutually beneficial exchange. That's in its purest form how it ought to look.
Yes.
And whatever some of the corrupted stuff we wind up with is completely not what I sign up for.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. No, you said it perfectly. Yeah. No, I do. Yeah.
And it's really like, just to go off and expand on it a little bit, for me, and it's weird because I have say the word sales, it almost sounds dirty, but like a lot of people are taught, sell and upsell and this and create and this. And to me, it's about creating value and building relationship. I don't need, and really, quite frankly, I don't want to sell her a $10,000 removal job. And you're going to have some salespeople and they're, I'd rather sell her $2,500 now, plant the tree, and steward her over the next 5 years, 10 years, and give her this really digestible. Because then what I'm doing is I'm managing the forest around her property. They don't all need to come down at once. No, put one in, cut it down, grow it for 3 to 5 years.
Which goes back to what I was saying before. How do you change the world?
Yeah.
The little plot you have.
The microcosm.
Yeah, like that's your
affects
thing.
The macro, right?
Exactly. And you show up, it's like, how do I do this? Like, you teach them to become a steward of their land. You just happen to be the tree guy.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
You see what I mean? That's it. It's like, hey, like you have 5 Norway maple not in good shape, but don't forget the money. Just the shock of having 5 taken down changes the whole thing. It's like, So you're like, you know what? This one can hang on for 5 years. Let's plant a tree underneath. Because if you read the book Secret Trees of Life, you go get it, read it. It's a great thing.
Yep.
And then when this tree is ready to go, this tree is so happy to take over and become the next thing. And then this one over here, grind the stump, and then don't plant there because it's too close to a telephone pole. And then, but one over here, you have a spot, and you become the steward of the land.
Hey guys, you are watching and listening to the Aging Arborist podcast. Thanks for coming along this journey with us. Brick and I are super excited to announce our sponsor, the Modern Group. Modern Equipment has been a very faithful sponsor to the New Jersey chapter of ISA, and we are also, at Tree Awareness, clients of theirs. We have bought several pieces of equipment from them, and they have been absolutely amazing. From the sales team to the service department to parts. If you're looking for equipment in the tree space or construction in general, please do yourself a favor and check out the Modern Group. They have 2 locations, one in Bristol, PA, and a brand new, just opening location in Tabernacle, New Jersey. You can go to moderngroup.com and check them out. Please, for all your tree equipment and construction equipment, go see the folks at Modern. They are second to none. Okay. All right. So we got a list from someone and the top got cut off. Unfortunately, I'm not sure who these are from, but there's literally about 13 questions here. I'm not going to go through all of them.
No.
But maybe we could just, like you said, we'll pick up the pace. We'll rapid fire through a couple of these and just give some quick thoughts. Sure. I think I will start with number 2. Just quickly, someone was asking, how was life with family and friends working in the industry? Is it demanding?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, depending on the relationship that you have with family, friend,
sure.
So I can speak to the person I work with now who's into it.
Yeah,
I'm sure he won't mention his Desmond.
Yeah, and
but like we're homies. You know what I mean? So we're definitely friends. We deepened our relationship over time, and dude, it's the best time because you're working with your brother. You're working with somebody who wants the thing as bad as you want it.
Yeah.
Now, I do not have a personal relationship with somebody, a family or friend that is miserable, doesn't want it in general.
Yeah.
Right? You just even outside of work. So I would imagine if you work with somebody that you're close with is miserable, you might have to reconsider your relationship with that person if you don't want to be with them. I don't know. Right? So
as long as because sometimes like are you the one that's miserable?
Well,
Not you
fair enough.
specifically, but I mean, like you're looking around going,
thank you for that.
I've seen the problem, and it is me.
Thank you for that. And I'm a firm believer in it. You know that. I have no problem being the one to be like, you know what, it's me. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely that. I mean, you probably could speak more to it with Mason, having your son involved. So I think that'd be more of a thing.
Yeah.
You're kind of a
No,
thing.
and that's great. And I don't know, how was life with family, friends when working in this industry? Was it demanding? Yeah, I guess that is what they mean. I was thinking I was thinking maybe they were meaning family life balance type stuff, but I think it leans more toward what you're saying.
That's what it sounds like to me.
The family life balance thing quickly is just, it's really what you make it. You can either, Rick and I talked about this earlier, you can either serve mammon, right?
Yeah.
Serve the world system, serve the dollar. Look, we all have to put food on the table, and you can always prioritize work. When you have your own gig, man, you give as much or as little as you want. I made a decision that I was not going to, for the simple fact that my old man was a union guy, worked his butt off, very rarely saw him. So it was a conscious decision to lean into raising my kids. This may be a shock to some, as I watched other tree truck guys go by me on Saturdays. I didn't work Saturdays. I was at soccer games. I was at baseball games. I was at dance recitals. But the relationships I feel like I have with my kids and now grandchildren is just like, man, I'm so blessed by it. Because the relationship, I sewed into it. So that's your choice. Mm-hmm. You can allow it to own you, or you can own it. On the working with family thing, again, blessed. Some of my richest memories, my core values, and just, I had 2 crews going, and my one crew was me, Michaela, Madison, Mason. Mason was probably 14, 15. And we're going out and running the mini, and I'm dropping stuff, and I'm probably like smiling the whole entire time. It just, you talk about a full cup. Like, I try not to miss those days because I'm living in this current reality, and I'm still working with Mason. And Madison's in retirement right now. We joke about it. I'm like, yeah, if you're looking for a day.
Yeah.
So I mess with her. But man, so blessed by that. Now, there was a past early on when I worked with 2 of my childhood friends, and that came with challenges. My one guy, Ron, was literally one of my first ground guys, and he was great. He was always a hard worker, knew what to do. Like, my buddy Dan has since passed. I miss him dearly. Super great guy, childhood friends, just one of the most intuitively funny dudes ever. His nickname was Steamer because he was like a steamroller. He was just a big burly guy. Yeah, sure. But it came with challenges. He lived 2 doors down when I was running out of my mother's garage, and he'd show up late, or whatever. He's like, "Well, I'm coming," and like,
I remember
there were challenges.
Yeah.
Dan used to like to go in my lunchbox and steal treats out of there. I laugh now. Back then, it would piss me off because we're both young 20-somethings.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing in my lunchbox? I'm having a snack, and you're like, brother, I want to kill you,
Yeah.
So, listen, man, it is what you make of it. It's navigating through things. Really, there's one thing I love that when you say human shit, I'll circle back to that. Man, it's really just learning how to communicate.
Yeah.
And really managing our tones and how we speak to someone. It's one thing if I go, see if I can just role play for a second. I don't know. You did something. I'm like, yo, man, what the bleep, dude? Like, why are you? And you're like, well, how are you going to feel?
Yeah.
Versus I'm like, dude, you mind? Like, I need to offload something. I don't know what you like. If there was an intention behind this, I need to say this, and say it, and then give you a chance to retort. We start off by understanding that we love each other.
Yeah,
we're brothers, exactly. Okay? But we have this weird, difficult thing. So can we kind of just and understand when I'm done, I want to maintain the love part.
Yeah.
Whatever this thing is.
I call it closing the loop.
Yeah.
You can't leave that open because that's when that's when everything keeps going around. And so you didn't say anything, I didn't say anything, and then tomorrow's like, well, why do you have the glasses there? And you're like, dude, it's just glasses on the table. What's the problem? But that's the glasses.
It wasn't about the glasses.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah. But if I close the loop yesterday about whatever we had, both of us, it's over. It's done.
Yeah.
It may take time to kind of get back to where we were before the issue, but at least it's closed. We can start getting back to it. So that's the key.
It is. And you know, it's wild. And as I've done a deep dive on myself to some degree, just relating to my marriage, right? It's sometimes the way I react or respond, it's an old trauma response. So I was dealt with a certain way when I was little, and this is how I, like, if you see people and they throw a tantrum, maybe that's how they got what they wanted when they were little, and that got reinforced. So now that's a pattern of behavior.
Correct.
So when they don't get what they want at work, the response is, the only thing is when you're 3, it's correctable and it's almost cute. When you're 23, it stops being cute. And I called it the other day. We were on a job site. Ben was out there with us doing some filming, and I made a video. He made a reel about it, but I closed off a road. Well, you would have thought I mean, dude, it was a 100-foot section of road, and it's a block neighborhood. So all you had to do is go up one, over, done. Meanwhile, I'm keeping you safe of branches falling and keeping my guys safe. So sorry for the inconvenience, and one guy's, the hands are, and I told Ben, I'm like, he threw a mantrum.
And
I was like, there's nothing uglier than a man tantrum, bro. You're a grown-ass man. And you're acting like a 7-year-old kid, bro.
That's what we could say. It's about boy chum because he's not a man.
Right.
You're saying because you're acting like a 7-year-old. Yeah.
And honestly, like I've had to, like, this is an area, like emotional regulation for me. It's a thing I've navigated through and have to be super aware of. In particular when I'm driving a vehicle.
Everybody is on a spectrum when it comes to that. But the idea is a daily practice.
Yeah.
You have to work on it, with people.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And when somebody's not, you see it.
Yes.
That's what you notice. You don't notice them being upset. You notice there's something wrong here. What is this? I'm working on mine while you're not working on yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
it's almost like we owe it to each other, especially if we're already in relationship. It's one thing if you don't know someone.
Yeah, that's different.
But if we've been orbiting in a thing, and we're not kind of doing our part, we're not bringing our best to the relationship. We're not investing in it, really. No. You know? Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. So let's see what. Okay. Let's see, Ben. Here we go. I have to keep. For some reason, it won't stay kind of locked in. It's all right. Yeah. We're live here, people.
Yeah. Pressure.
Pressure's
a privilege.
Right. So, life, family. Are there a lot of people? Oh, this one's interesting. I find this funny. This is actually hilarious. Are there a lot of fake people in the industry, or are most, if all, arborists usually great people to be around? Brick, get us going on that one.
All right. I'm not gonna be diplomatic.
Yeah.
There's fake people.
Sure.
In the industry.
There's
or better, I like to rephrase it. Just like, and we've kind of talked in general, but the idea is in everything that you get involved in, whether it could be you play roller hockey league, you go join a crocheting club. I don't know.
Yep.
You're gonna run into people that haven't done the work to become a better version of themselves. That's what I mean by fake people. People that are childhood trauma responses and this and that. They're involved in something because maybe they feel like they can become the center of attention. There's all issues involved.
Sure.
So those are the people. Those people will be in every industry, place,
all
anything.
Walks of life.
All walks of life. Correct.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm sure you agree, but in our industry, going to tree conferences, expos, and stuff like that, 99% of the people are cool people. Mm-hmm. At least on a superficial level, you can connect, you can chat, have fun, and it's always a great time. It's when you get to the deeper levels, you'll not fake, but you'll find there's some people you don't resonate with or align with, which is normal. So you're not supposed to.
Yeah,
that's not life wouldn't be fun if you didn't have a contrast.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. we hit on it earlier. I was like talking about like Jocko Willink, you know, he's a big guy. Everybody kind of knows him at this point, but like, all the Navy SEALs are just like, they're buttoned down, you know? And he's like, nah. And he's like, you know, there are great people in it. There are not great people there. And it's a cross section of humanity, and the tree industry is no different. It really isn't. And what I would say, and what I like what you said, is as I've gone sort of, so, you know, you go to TCI Expo and say there's, I don't know, 4,000 attendees or 5,000. That's a small section of, maybe there's 50,000 or 100,000 in the country. I don't really know what the number is. So you have this like smaller cross section, and there are people that are pursuing higher learning and education. So you may have a more of a resonant frequency. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then you go to sort of like winter management, and it's like 600 people. And now you've got leaders and owners and people that are probably doing self-development work, because to be at that level, you better be doing some development. So there are ways to, and then you get your, you know, average local tree service, you know, guys you drive by that won't wave to you, or they snub you, or they're trying to cut your throat, or this or that. So it's all out there. Yeah, it's a full palette. Yeah. Full palette.
It's no discouragement.
No.
It's just
not at all.
It is what it is.
But one thing I'll go back to that I love what you, is be the change.
Can we say it again?
In other words, be the person. Be the person you want to, like, you're asking the question, that's great, are people fake, whatever. You don't be that.
No, don't be
you
that.
Be good. You work on you.
Be what you want to see.
Correct.
Bars. Rhymes.
I like it. So this is kind of a fun one, and yours, what's the worst customer experiences you guys have faced?
I actually just had a recent one.
All right,
I'll keep it short as I can.
Do it. Go.
Short as I can.
Love it.
Crew's out. I work for the municipality. My crew is out. I'm assessing trees that are being put on the list by the forester. Told the guys, give me a call if there's any issues. Never get a phone call. Once in a blue moon, get a phone call. Guys, really mad. Cousin screaming, yelling, stomping his feet. The whole 9 yards. Went and slammed his own front door to make it as loud as he can to let them know he's mad. Kind of, you know. He's like, you got to come up here. I'm like, yeah, sure, come up there.
And what was happening? Were you removing something in front of his house?
The two guys, they were removing a tree.
Okay.
Town tree, our tree.
Yep.
And the forester, the way the forester does her job is she'll leave a door hanger.
Yep.
Take a picture of it, because by law, apparently, you're not allowed to put it in the mailbox.
Correct.
Oh, you see?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because I've done tag marketing in my career. And it's you can't.
You can't. Okay. Yeah. So confirmed.
Yeah.
So hang picture as like proof in case the wind blows. I didn't get anything with it. You know. So I ring the door again. You ring the doorbell. Professional. He came out guns blazing. Oh, what are you going to tell me they don't already told me? The system's broken. No. And I was like, whoa. I was like, no, like it's so aggressive. It's like a fist fight aggressive.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Yeah, wow.
I'm assuming I'm 45, so I would say like maybe he was 50, 55 in that range. And I can take care of myself. So I'm not worried about, what I mean? So, but I'm also like, do I have to punch this guy? Really?
Picking on the elderly.
Well, so he's going. I literally can't get a word in edgewise. And finally, I get one. I'm like, hey, listen. When I got in was when he goes, and the guys, they told me to get lost. Now, I know my guys well enough that that's not the way they talk. No, even if they were mad and wanted to say something, that's not how they would say. It's just that's like an old school nice way to tell somebody to beat it, right? There would have been more current with some curse words, so I was like, well, and that's when I'm like, hold on. I put my hand up and say, hold on a second. You're telling me, and I was about to say, you're telling me my guy told you to get lost, which is wrong, because that's unprofessional. And he goes, put your hand down. Put your hand down. And I was like, I'll put my hand down when you stop putting your hand in my face. And I was like, it's okay. Like, I'm not here for anything other than to resolve the issues that you have. That's all I'm trying to do. And he goes, well, what are you going to tell me? And then he started going tirade. So long story short is it turned into, I would say like an 8 to 9 minute thing to where it was just me combating him just trying to spew out just anger and this and that. I pay property taxes. People got to tell me what to do and blah, 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 and all this stuff, whatever. It's just nonsense. But so that's the worst. The worst I've ever dealt with was literally last week.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow, dude. When he said put your hand down, I was like, oh, he's gonna try to throw a punch at some point. I genuinely believe it. And I'm ready for it. Yeah. But I genuinely believe he's at that point now. Like, I cannot believe I wasn't even pointing at you. I was pointing at my men, and you're telling me to put my hand down.
Where does he live?
I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy. It's funny. Like, we're boys, though. It's got me like I'm mad at him now.
I know, right? Yeah. But to your point, what you mentioned earlier, it's just, bro, you got a lot of. We always go with childhood trauma issues, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Sigmund Freud, and all that stuff. But like, you got problems, bro. Yeah. Like, it's not me. It's not me. It's not the glasses. It's not you. You are so far.
What was his big beef? What was the crux of his?
Thank you for asking. So the way municipalities work is there's a right of way, and inside of a right of way, we have its trees. Outside of it, right behind the Norway maple that they took down was a cherry tree, a Kwanzan cherry. Yep. But it was outside the right of way. So all of our trees are inventory. We have tags.
Yep.
This one doesn't have it. His whole thing, dude, and you have all the power wires and then the cable wire on the bottom. My pinky's small, so I'll put these two, but like, what is that, an inch?
Probably.
And one branch, an inch in diameter, was sitting on top of the cable wire. And said, I don't even care about that tree. I want you to take this branch off, to the guy before I got there. So he was just
the cherry tree?
On the cherry tree.
Right, but it's not your tree.
No. And he was mad at them because their property thing. I pay, bro, you can't touch my grass. And it was a thing of ownership of his thing, and he wants to be in control of it, number one. But then he didn't care about the tree being removed. He just didn't like that we showed up and was removing the tree, but he was like, well, let me get something out of it.
Yep.
And once my guy said, listen, there's no tag on it. It's not our tree. We don't do private work. That's when he went to the stratosphere with his whole power tripping. But for an inch branch on the cable, the lowest cable wire, barely any pressure, he just wanted that off. Yeah. And in the end of that, he kept saying, we'll take that off. I said, again, I'm going to remind you, if it's a town tree, I'll be happy to take care of it. But if it's not a town tree, that is your responsibility. See, this is what I'm talking about. The system is broken. I was like, yes, it's broken.
Yeah, and you have to understand, and I do, that like sometimes you're just like, it would be just easier to just cut the limb off. Like before he got pissed off. Like just go. I'm just
no.
And I'm just saying like, is this what you want? Okay, boom. Now you're done. Now you have nothing to be in. Just now go back in the house.
Yeah.
So that's one way. The other one, and I'm going to share one that we had the other day, which was kind of funny. But the antithesis to it is like, look, if I do this one, what's to stop every job I go on? The homeowner's got one or two. Like you did it for Bill Smith over there. He told me last week you were there, and you got.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing private work that I'm not supposed to. And taxpayers that are paying taxes over there are now paying for me to do your private tree work.
No.
It's a slippery slope.
Correct. And more importantly, I think we agree. Most people, it's just like, listen, the way things are set up, it's set up that way. It's just, the right of way. What 1910 when they built the town, or 1890 they decided to sit 53 feet from the center of the dirt road where the horses walk down.
Correct.
This is where the township property is. Bro, that's just the way it is. Like none of us created this stuff. So once you start crossing over that agreement that was from back then, what's an agreement at this point?
Yeah.
So
no, I agree.
That's how.
And like what I remember, I had a guy come up to me, and maybe I'll use this one instead. We're doing a project. It's part of an infrastructure project in a townhome community. Okay, but the townhomes are like apartment style. So like big buildings with multiple units inside. So the people kind of own them. And then there's all this
courtyard.
Not public, but like the HOA controls that.
Yes.
So we're there at the behest of the HOA. And there's gum trees there, and they're over mature. They're in between two buildings. The sidewalk's heaved up. It's all underground service in there. So all the electrical boxes are heaved up. So the stumps so they're going to come in, tear out curbing, take out these electrical boxes. Once the stumps are gone, they're going to come in, reset all the boxes. Like it was a major project that we played a very small part in. And, we're there now. We set dates for these things. We set a date. They knew we were coming the day of, the time, Wednesday morning at blah, have your cars out of these areas, yada, yada. So we're working on the trees, and guy, same thing, comes flying out of his house. And he's yelling and screaming, and he's kind of doing the same. Oh, you cut all these trees down. He had he was a Slavic accent, like Russian, I think he was. His name was, whatever, but I'll protect the innocent. And he starts screaming at me, and he's got the finger going. And I have something, sometimes I put my hand up, same thing. And I went, whoa, like that, like pretty loud. I'll spare Ben. Sure. And he kind of jumped back, and I went, listen, I'll talk to you about anything, but you're not allowed to yell at me. And I turned around and I walked away. I was like, when you're ready to talk to me like a grown up, we'll have a conversation. And I just dismissed myself. Don't walk away from me. And he went up, and my calmness just came down. That's not always how I am, but like on a job site, and I'm working, and I'm kind of like, and I got my guys looking at me like, what's going on over here? The guys all. So eventually he came, and I was like, listen, I'm the object of your ire, but I'm not really where this all started. I'm like, this is an infrastructure project I'm playing. So we had to kind of talk through it, and it was unpleasant. Yeah. But it did resolve, and he went back in the house. I said, listen, your issues with the board. Yeah. I said, the board hired me. I was like, what I would suggest is, if you don't like all these trees being cut down, and you don't like the way we're trimming and all, which, by the way, was by the book, doing building clearances and things of that nature. I said, you should join the board and affect your change from the board. Yeah. I was like, but the board votes and you elect them and they make these decisions and you're outside of it. That's not my issue.
Yeah. Oh, well said. Yeah. I will just add into for this question is, you do like you're the owner, you can walk away.
Sure.
I work in municipality. Yeah. I like literally my job to handle it, resolve. I mean, to the best of my possibility, right? Yeah. But I was gonna just say there's like a little what's it called? Caveat, meaning like you do like, unfortunately, having social skills and understanding how to navigate all that stuff. Walking away is also an option. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but my point is like whoever is asking the question, just understand that it's part of like it's like a craft in a way. Like you need to be able 100%. To work on that. It can't be like don't talk to me that way because what are you doing?
I spoke to him super calm.
No, it's beautiful. But what I love is that you had a hard stop to it. Yeah. That shocked him. Yes. You didn't you didn't match his energy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that's what shocked. If you match his energy, he's like, good, this is what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like WWE at this point, you know?
It's like, there's an old thing about I'm going to butcher this, but it's something about wrestling with, like, don't pick a fight with a pig, or don't wrestle with a pig because you're going to get dirty and pigs love the mud. Something like that.
I think that's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah. But it was good. I think it was a good question.
No, that's good. Yeah. All right. So let me just see. We'll scroll down and look at a couple more of these. People don't give enough attention to the importance of arborists. Do you think people don't give enough attention to the importance of arborists? I certainly wish that it were a little more recognized as a professional trade. I think to some degree we're doing that. Yeah. By having these conversations But we talked about the whole European thing where they're just very highly regarded. Yeah. So, I mean.
If there's another question, I thought we didn't have a name, but it was about the value of trees. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
How do we get society to, I think that's a good pairing.
Yep.
Because do you want to like segue? Like, do you want
I just go ahead and pick up.
Can you go to that one and read it then?
I think was that the last? That was the Breitbart one, though, right?
No. It's the one coming up. It's after.
Let me see here.
It's basically how do we get people to understand?
Oh yeah, right here. How do we make people see the value of trees on a large scale?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think those two go well together because how does an arborist get respected? Well, when there's appreciation for the trees on a large scale, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna let you run with this one, but I'll just say that, and I kind of butchered it on the podcast, but basically, in space, wood is non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
If there happens to be wood in space, it'd be people, the billionaires on this planet would mow each other over to get this thing to say I have the piece of wood, right? But since it's in abundance everywhere you go, it's not a thought as scarcity.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, if we don't have this thing, we're going to be in trouble. However, everybody knows and agrees that the value of trees in the carbon dioxide, oxygen, and it plays a role, and everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. But because we see it so much of it, it just doesn't register as a very important thing.
Yeah.
With that being said, what is an arborist? You climb trees. You do some tree stuff.
Yep.
Like it more or less devalues the idea of an arborist if there's no value for the trees as a whole.
Yep.
You flip it to you have a house, the water pipe breaks in your wall, and your house is flooding. The value of that plumber. But everybody loves a plumber. They love them even more when they need them.
Yes.
Because the idea that something might break in your house, a plumber is valuable.
Yeah.
Because you know that a plumber will take care of a big problem in your house.
Yeah.
When it happens, it's even more about it. So, plumber to come and fix something that could break, $200. But it broke,
$600.
Exactly. Whatever. It's just quadruple the price now because now it's like for lack of a better way of saying it, you need my help.
Yes.
And it's more valuable because it's more urgent and a whole whatever. So with that being said, people have a more of an appreciation for something that hits more at home.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yep.
Hits more at home, where trees only become that in storms.
Yeah.
So it's very, I don't want to say rare, but it's very rare that a tree becomes that like kind of a thing to where people feel.
Yeah.
Again, back to feelings.
Yeah.
So I'll let you run with it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, unless, and a lot of what I've seen, I think part of this is how we've positioned the company and we've been able to sow into these relationships for 30 years is we positioned our company as people that take care of trees. So we attract this client base, I think, to some degree that, my father had a farm over here and like they sold the farm and blah, blah. And we brought a tree from there and that's this tree. And that was, it's tree stories. Like, like we tell tree stories, but a lot of people have them where, the guy yesterday, I think I told you about, like this house was built in the 1700s. There's a couple trees there, not from that era, but he bought the place back in I think he said 77 or something. And he started planting trees and now he's got, some big trees. And he's like, I planted almost everything here. So he has a passion.
Yeah.
So he doesn't just want anybody coming in. And what I would flip it to is when I see guys like Mike Rowe. And he does all the trade stuff. Mm-hmm. I just wish they would say us when they say roofer, plumber, electrician. I wish they would just say arborist.
Yeah. Boom.
Just please just say it.
Mm-hmm. Say it.
It's an incredibly, Ben was looking at some houses and he texted me the one day and he's like, hey, cause he's savvy now because of what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's working with the tree crew. He's out all the time. He's got a different set of eyes now looking at, you're just driving along. They're part of the landscape. I might go to a house and look at the lawn. Yeah. It's weeds. It's whatever. But now he's going, hey, do I need to be concerned about these trees? So it's really it's part of it's an awareness. I just wish the people in the know, like someone that has a platform like Mike Rowe would use the term. Just be like, hey, by the way, shout out. I've wanted to message the guy, and just go, hey, listen, man, love what you're doing. I've been a fan of yours since Deadliest Catch and Dirty Jobs, But do us a proper, man. Like, put us on the map, dude. Like, we're not getting enough visibility. And it's an honest, honorable, hardworking person's type of trade, and it's needed.
And thank you. I was just going to say that it's needed.
It shouldn't be an afterthought.
No.
And by the way, one thing that resonated with me a long time ago was we had a contract with a local county south of here, and it was for hazardous tree removal. Okay. We did a 2-year contract with Cumberland County. This is probably 12 years ago. I was amazed at the condition of some of these trees along roadways. So it was almost like for a couple years, they didn't utilize the budget. And so they left some of these magnificently dangerous trees along main roadways and rights of way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are these things allowed to stand here? Well, you can't ignore that for too long.
There you go. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
You know, your budget, this year we have to plow and we have to move some of the tree budget into plowing. Yeah, do that for a few years and kind of watch what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the town I work for. I will give the foresters credit. One going back two that I know of. So this would be the third one that I'm sorry. I work with two, but there's one before, and he was good. He's still around with the LTEs and everything
cool.
else. Yeah, so I don't know if it's good to drop him, but Linson.
Okay.
I don't know if you know.
I don't know. No.
Great guy, still still around and stuff. But I'll give them credit because they've always had that in mind.
Yep.
Like, listen, budget, all that stuff, but understand that the value of these trees is like the value we get from like Tree City USA and all that stuff. Number one, but number two, we need a tree crew, full-time tree crew, shade tree department to make sure everything is safe and proper pruning practices and everything. Yeah. To the point that like you drive through Melbourne, Short Hills, where I work, it is like groomed, so to speak, for lack of a better word. But like you know, occasionally it might be a new dead one that just happened this year, this and that. But I've been through some towns like what you're saying. It's like, ooh,
We have one property manager I've been working with for probably 20 years for one of our property management companies. And he is the single best private company guy that understands the trees. And him and I just developed a relationship.
That's cool,
and we go out, we do a walkthrough, we ID. And I always said, like, his name's Alan. I was like, if I lived in a property like this, I would want Alan as my manager because the dude gets it. And he's also super savvy that he's a relationship builder, whether it's his concrete guy or his roofer or me, because he brings so much business your way. When he does need you, you have the rapport.
Yeah,
it's not like he's bidding you out every time and you get one out of every 7 projects and you're like, this dude calls me all the time. I never get a sniff.
Yeah,
he flips it on its head. He's like, you're my guy.
You're my guy until you're not.
But if I need you, I need you.
I need you. Yeah.
And so we jump for Alan because Alan gets it.
Yeah.
So he values the arborist.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. That literally answers the question.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Where are we going with this? Back to Ben's questions. I'm sorry to have to keep doing this, but it's
this is what it is. Right?
It is what it is.
I mean, we have no template.
Also, I'm a little bit technical. There's probably a way I could lock these in. Okay, value and I mean, here's one. We kind of got into this, separates a good arborist from a great arborist. We kind of got into that when we answered Chad's question.
Yeah, I think
really about if you're, a good arborist is doing. Go ahead.
Oh no, I think just we can encapsulate it. A good arborist would be getting your certification.
Yep.
Being a great arborist is the lifelong journey and continuing. So you get a certification makes you I always say a beginner expert.
Yeah. Master of the fundamentals. Master of the basics.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. So becoming a great one is a lifelong journey and constantly learning and growing. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to make it like so simple, but that's it.
You know what's cool? It makes me think of like when you look at that syllabus, right? And it's like, tree ID, anatomy.
Yeah, soil.
Yeah. Okay, I pass an examination where I understand the basics of these, but as well as I do. Okay, what I learned about soils for that test, it's basically about structure.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a little pH, like basics. I understand these things exist, but now let's talk about mycorrhizal fungi, the rhizosphere. Like you can do, there's people that have their PhD like in soils.
Wild.
Okay. So pick something that you like that fuels your passion within that and go down that rabbit hole and pursue beyond the basics.
And just to add, being an arborist doesn't mean, I mean, my opinion, it doesn't mean that you need to be a master of all of those things.
No.
Pick one, go down.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you're still an arborist.
Yeah.
Like, I lean towards being the climbing arborist.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's where I come from, climbing background. So, but if you ask me about soil, I will tell you, I'm not familiar. It's fascinating. You want to give a tree good health, soil is the way to go.
Yeah.
The climbing, cool stuff that people see that I do, don't get me wrong, like it helps safety aspects of things and possible growth, but ultimately, I'm not feeding the tree with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I want the listeners to hear that in any one of those, breakdowns of what it takes to be an arborist, you become a master in that. You're still a great arborist.
Yeah. One of the things that I remember struck me way back was taking one of the classes with Dr. Chris Luley.
Yeah.
So he's a pretty tall guy, lean, cool beard, curly hair, and he's a fungi guy.
Okay,
he's got a couple books out, and
okay.
I took a class with him once about the resistograph. It was a 2-day workshop, and just like I'm like, this dude's in the tree community. His whole entire thing is wood decaying fungi, and so like I'm like, it just shows the speciality that you can go down, like how detailed you can get drilled in.
Yeah. And it's infinite.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like I haven't heard of anybody who's a PhD that said, I made it.
Yeah, right.
I made it. I finally figured out all the problems. There's no reason to study anymore.
Yes, I'm retiring tomorrow. So
so
I'm done.
So that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so this is one. This is the last one I actually had. This is from Jackson Grimland. It just says, I can't fit all my words into the most recent question here, but my question is, as a seasoned ground guy who has about 2 years and some change of experience, what are some things I can, he wrote it, and I'm not sure how to perceive it exactly, but he says, what are something that I can slow down right now in my career and really work on my craft? To be able to step into crew leader, foreman position. Thanks, guys. Love the podcast. Jackson, thank you for checking in.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super grateful for the support and that you're listening. It's awesome. I'm going to kick this over to Brick and we'll do it the way we've been doing it. If I had to guess, we talked a little bit about this when we reviewed the questions, was when he says slow it down.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he means like to just maybe pick an area and kind of drill in and get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
But then he talks specifically about leading and foremanship.
Yeah.
And I think both of us have a lot to say about that because that's really something we are passionate about and love to do, right? So what would you say to Jackson on that?
Let's start with the comedy first, but if you mean by slow down, the other thought that we had, if you mean like slow down, it's been crazy for 2 years, respectfully understand it's only been 2 years.
Yeah. Embrace the chaos.
Embrace the chaos. Lean in. I love how you say just lean in and get that time, because 2 years, and it sounds cliche, but 2 years is nothing.
Mm-mm.
There's, in martial arts, basketball, all the sports. Just pick sports. Even drawing,
cooking,
cooking, bake. Yeah. So like 2 years. What's 2 years? It's a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So if that's the direction you were going in, just trust the concept of the 10,000 hours.
Yep.
Just time put in. Dive into it. Have a good time. However, Paul and I, we think that you're probably thinking more of how to pick an avenue to go down that's more direct and precise to the direction that you want to go in. Which, if that is the case and you're leaning towards being a crew leader or foreman of a crew, I wrote down a couple things that pop into my mind about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome, Jackson, that you want to be a leader.
Yep.
To be a person who's willing to take on the responsibilities. Hopefully you don't look at it as a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to drive home first, because that's not what it is.
No.
A lot of people make that mistake of, I'll work hard to get this position, and then now I have authority, and that means I can slow down. I can.
And just this is something I learned from I forget which leadership book, but it's like positional leadership is the weakest form.
There you go.
So cool. I have a plaque on my desk that says president. And because I'm the president, I'm going to tell you what to do. Or do you want to inspire and serve those under your charge?
Exactly. No, and I'm glad you said that, because it leads to the point. So you said it perfectly, because now if you look at it as a responsibility and not power, how are you going to show the people that you understand, have an understanding of the responsibilities that you're asking them to do?
Yeah.
So if you go back up to originally talking about, my suggestion would be, even though and I'm using climbing as an example, even let's say you don't want to be a climber because you're terrified of heights. That's fine.
Yep.
You don't need to be a climber to be a leader.
Correct.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah, me too.
However, how are you going to get the respect of the climber, or at least that crew of climbers?
Yep.
Be willing to embrace the suck of being scared, even if it means you're 5 feet off the ground. You get the rope, feel the rope, understand the tie-in point. You're showing the crew at that time that you're willing to experience it a little bit, so you understand it as best as you can.
Yeah.
So that when you do become a leader, you actually have compassion, empathy for the climbers.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you do this, do that, do this, and then them being like, dude, you haven't done anything in this whole time. Not talking about actually having to do the mastery of that skill, but at least breaking the ice in the way of like, listen, I'm willing to understand what you guys go through, but that's not my strength. That's not my passion.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing I want, like that's what rose to the surface when I read his question.
Yep.
Because it's like, I'm okay with people wanting to lead crews.
Yep.
I'm not okay with people trying to be a leader because there's a power with that.
Yeah.
Never.
No, I agree. And that's, again, that's the worst form. No one respects that type of leader.
Never.
I'm going to go back to something we beat to death on this platform, is developing the self.
Yeah.
You want to be a good leader? Work on yourself harder than any other skill you're trying to accumulate, right? Jim Rohn, work on yourself more than your job, right? I mean, that's a classic. It's a reason it's a classic. Hold
on.
Yeah.
Slow down. Repeat that again, because that was perfect.
Yeah.
Jim Rohn.
Yeah, Jim Rohn. Just work harder on yourself than you do at your craft. That you do at your job.
Because it's so true.
And guess what? That's the stuff you're not getting paid for, by the way. But you want to create value in the marketplace for yourself. Develop yourself. And I mean, there's so many books on leadership. I mean, look, just do a Google search on leadership, or top 10 books on leadership, and systematically go through them and learn how to equip and empower people, inspire people, be someone some people can lean on, that they can come to for instruction and things like that. Serving them. That's how you win people over, man, is you're literally putting them first, in a sense, you know. That is the other side of it, is the skill side. You know, you should constantly be accumulating skills at a professional level. You know, you're 2 years into a ground guy thing. I think the perspective Brick and I bring to that is that we're older. And to us, a couple of years really isn't like, I blinked and my son's been working with me full time over 2 years, and it feels like he just graduated. Why? Because I'm 60 and that's how the years go now. Yeah. If you're 20 or 22 and maybe this is your first or second job, you're like, you know, maybe I worked at Wawa for 6 months or 3 months, and now I'm at the tree crew and I got 2.5 years, and I'm like, I'm a seasoned person. You have experience, but the seasoning, I think, occurs in a little bit longer window. It's not at all to try to diminish what you've done, because to me, when someone crosses over a full year and they've worked through all 4 seasons, it tells me something about them. So you definitely have the stick-to-itiveness to stay with the craft. What are some things you can quickly do? Do you have your CDL? You know, set a goal. Do you have maybe even just like certified tree worker? Not even your ISA arborist, but start with something you can set a goal, achieve, and grasp. So accumulate some little feathers for yourself to inspire and continue to grow, understanding gear. I had a young woman that worked for me many, many years ago, over 20 years ago. And before I started her climbing, I taught her basically how to be a master ground tech and literally had her setting ropes. You know, she got great with a throw ball, like pruning and just advancing her skill. We could go on a job and be like, I'm going to climb this tree. I'm going to grab my gear. See if you can get a line in that crotch there. Or I'm going to set one here for myself, but I'm coming here next. See if you can get a line in there for me. Exactly. Hey, is that crotch good? Perfect.
Yeah, love it.
And mentally, now that's off my table.
Uh-huh.
Boom.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little things you can do. But be willing to, there's always going to be things that fall inside of your hourly protocol, things that you're going to be paid and compensated to do. But if you're trying to grow yourself and your skill set and you really want to be successful at something, it's going to require you to do a good bit of work on your own. And if you feel like you have to be compensated for every single thing, you're never going to grow. And I look at this like the Arborist thing. I get the Arborist manual. I'm not going to sit at home, or I'm not going to sit in work and study.
Yeah.
Like I have a tree to take down. Hey, I'm just going to sit over here and I'm going to read through because ultimately I'm going to do this and then I'll be certified for your company. So I want to be on the clock being paid for this, whatever. Look, you should be getting some training. Companies should be on the hook for your advancement and so forth. But if they don't study that book at home, they're never going to learn or grow. So we have to be willing in some respects to own our own future. That's just you taking control of your own. I mean, when you think in terms of what you're doing in your life and all the things you're trying to do, how many hours have you spent wreck climbing? You get a new piece of gear, a new system. I'm sure you're not doing that all on the clock. You're home. You're in a tree at home. You're off in the woods. You're with Jake. You're with Mark Chisholm. You're like, you are putting so many hours in on your own to develop yourself.
Yeah.
And that's just the tree stuff.
That's the tree stuff. Yeah.
How many books have you read? Podcasts have you listened to? Conversations have you had?
Yeah, no, you nailed it.
You create your own value in the marketplace, and you do that by developing yourself first, probably, and then your skill set.
Yeah, no, well said. Yeah, it's. I mean, for Jackson, I just hope he understands I think what you just nailed is perfect. Are you willing to work on yourself for free?
Yeah,
put it that way.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? It's like, what? That's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're going to get paid for the work that you put in. Yeah. But if somebody says, you do this, I'll give you $15 an hour. You do this, I'll give you $45 an hour. Most people are like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But when you got to work on something that you do not know where you're getting back for it, the investment, so to speak, that's a different story.
Yep.
So what you said was perfect. Like, you really want to become a better ground worker, be a crew leader, and all this stuff. What we found, and I'm sure most people in higher levels understand that the personal development part is the way. You know, like if I said A, B, C, it's how you do these three things, how you become a good crew leader. I still don't believe you'll be a good crew leader because you just understand A, B, C. But if
mechanics versus
there you go, yeah, ownership, yeah, internals, yeah, exactly. So you nailed it, and I mean, I know it sounds weird, but just from that alone, I don't even think I can add anything to it because it's so good.
So much of it is about life is about relationship building.
Yeah,
you know, it's about building your network. And I heard a thing; it's a cliche. It's like your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
Well, how am I building good relationships if I'm unrelatable? Relate. I'm building relationships because there's relatability. How do I do that? Well, if I don't understand interpersonal dynamics and I don't understand myself and why I respond certain ways and digging into triggers and different things, and again, it's a lifelong study.
And over time.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I mean, relationships take time.
Yeah.
So that's right. It's like you and I, we don't know each other, but there's nothing we could do that tomorrow there's trust.
Say that again.
Okay. We don't know each other, right?
Right.
Okay. There's nothing we can do today that tomorrow there's trust.
Right. Yeah.
It's not. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
It's just you have a lot of things to deal with. I have a lot of things to deal with. There's no way that if we were strangers tomorrow we would have trust.
I agree.
Doesn't matter. We could be up for 24 hours talking, and we still won't have trust tomorrow morning. It's just time. You got time in, experiences. Things have to happen. Good things, bad things. You know, and when I say bad things, I mean more not danger, but like more of the idea that didn't work out. I'm mad. How do we reconcile that?
Did we throw in the towel?
Yeah.
Dude, I heard a thing, and I don't know who I'm stealing this from, but there's a couple parallels that I think are amazing, right? It's like, okay, I want to get jacked. I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to lift all day, and then Saturday morning, I'm going to be jacked. Or like, I met this woman, and we went on a date, and I don't love her tomorrow. But then we have a second date. Do I actually like love her after this? Somewhere along the way, somewhere after being with this person, I can say to myself and to her, man, I love you. Somewhere along the way, I'm doing this. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it 10 times in the gym? Is it 20, 30?
A
transformation takes place over time. We can be so impatient with the process. Something's happening to us in the process, no matter what it is, whether it's physical, spiritual, emotional, mental.
Oh, and Jackson.
Yeah.
To you, and that's kind of like understand. We're being gracious, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like to understand, we're not looking down on the 2 years.
Not at all. Oh, God, no.
Like, but just understand 2 years. You have a goal. That's great.
Yep.
Keep growing what you're doing, and then and personal development will be added to that if you're not already doing it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like you know what I said. We couldn't trust each other if we were strangers.
Yep.
You can't fall. I mean, I guess you could fall in love, but like true love, like understanding you can work with each other. Going to the gym, it just takes time.
Yeah.
And that is required for where he wants to go.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to encourage him with this: the fact that you have put in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Good for you. Testimony to you for your stick-to-itiveness. The fact that you're asking such a question.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're on the right path. My encouragement is stay on the path.
Yeah.
Stay on that track.
Yeah.
And there's so much to it. In fact, I'll actually go back to something we talked about. And the question we answered for Chad Tucker was, get around people, like identify some folks in your local area. You know, hey, look, you invest in a membership. Yeah. You know, I don't know if it sounds like you're maybe working for somebody. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure, but even if you are, maybe the worst thing in the world maybe the best thing in the world is take a little money off to the side and you join your local chapter.
That's what I was going to say. That goes back to what you said.
Yeah.
You're going to have to
invest in yourself.
Yeah. Like
you know, you join the chapter, you show up for a work day.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the company to do it.
No.
You do it. You start getting around people. You find people that you look at and you go, man, this person leads, or how would I like to be led? Let me start there. How do I want to be led? Do I like someone who's super dictatorial? They lead from position. They dictate. Do this, pick that up, this, or do you prefer stylistically someone who says, hey, I'm on this job. Here's the plan. We're going to rig these down. I'm going to run ropes for now because I want you guys to understand this. Here's how you do it.
Yeah.
So be the leader.
I love it because this goes back to what we said. Remember, how do you make change in the world?
Yeah.
The same
yeah,
thing.
No, it's perfect.
Like, how are you going to be a leader?
Yeah.
Or start being that person.
That's right. Yeah.
How would you want to be led?
Yeah,
be that person.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. I love it.
Yeah. Cool. So, I mean, I don't really even know. Ben, do you happen to have it? Like, did we start at 9:30 and 9:40? I think we're a few hours in, I think, aren't we?
Yeah. I think.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. So parting shots, I actually, you know what? I thought I wrote something down about that. I'm not sure if I did or not, but we did work through all the questions, which I'm super, super happy about. Mm-hmm. I think I have.
Again, listeners, thank you very much.
Oh my gosh.
For throwing in some questions
and
giving us the opportunity to kind of add a unique twist to the, experience that we're having.
Yep.
Right? Because if nobody asked, that would be a bummer.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I thought, what if we get like 3 questions?
Yeah,
which is possible.
Yeah, which is possible, and you don't know.
Yeah.
It's almost like we do this all the time, but like, how are you gonna know what to do, how to do it, or anything if you just don't go for it?
Yeah, exactly.
So we went for it, and here we are, 2 hours and change later. So cool.
Yeah, almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's funny because off the top of my head, the dates in my head, I want to say March 27th and 8th of 2026.
I think you might be right.
That's right about there. And we'll put these. I'll have Ben put these up on Instagram to make sure. But listen, man, a bunch of y'all caught Brick and I last year up at Arbor Expo in Springfield, Mass. We've been invited back this year by Sachin Mohan and Diane Morgan. To kind of hang out. We're really, we're developing a rapport with those folks. They're incredible people.
Yeah,
the team is great. Mm-hmm. We absolutely love them. We got invited back. We're excited. We're flattered by it, quite honestly. It's cool. We're going to be giving a talk.
Yeah.
We'll drill into the subject matter later. We still have a few months to get that down. And we're going to have a booth.
Yeah.
So we decided, we weren't sure if we wanted to do that, but we had some great interactions. We thought maybe we wanted to just kind of like walk around and have that freedom, which is cool. But we really did. We did enjoy the interactions. So we're
like immensely. Stunned.
Yeah, no,
by
100%.
The traffic,
the dynamic.
Oh, dude, it was amazing.
I don't even think. Well, it's funny. They put 2 chairs in the booth and the table.
Yeah.
Did we actually? We hardly sat.
No.
It was like we'd sit for a few.
We sat when there was a lull.
Right.
And that's usually when people were in classes.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah.
Man, it feels. And then it come out. I'm like, what's up? What's going on? Yeah.
And then we'd be like out leaning against it.
Exactly. Yeah. You know? That was cool.
And this year we may do a different spin. We're talking about bringing Ben, our producer, with us. Last year we were kind of new to that dynamic. We really didn't know what to expect. So y'all might get a chance to kind of meet Ben and suffer his detail-oriented nature. Yeah. When you're dealing with interviews and things, but we would love to grab some footage and some folks having conversations. If you were there last year and you met us, please come back and say hello again. But yeah, Arbor Expo, we're looking forward to that.
No, really, yeah.
I'm thinking we're going to bring some swag. And look, this is unsolicited. This is something I hadn't thought about. Brick and I, when we started this, we were very animate and very in lockstep on this just being a labor of love and a sort of a give back to the community that has served us, quite frankly, so well. And we talk at length about that, and this is what we engage with our guests and so forth. Listen, that being said, we're going to open up at some point some opportunities. The Modern Group has come alongside and given us some sponsorship. We weren't doing this necessarily this isn't about us creating a cash cow, anything like that. This podcast will always be free. This is what it is. This is the format for that. And I'm kind of springing this on you now, but
no,
I'm not. But the idea is, I think that, my little company has kind of been supporting the production and, Brooks coming down 2+ hours once a month, driving up and back. And we do it because we love it, and we will continue to do it kind of regardless of what happens. Yeah. But if you listen and you think to yourself, I'm enjoying these conversations and I'm getting something out of it, and I would like to see this sustain and maybe give these guys a hand or help out in some way. Like I said, Modern sponsors, where we're putting a commercial inside the platform. If you're someone that has a business that you think might benefit from that, and you want to do something similar, you can DM Ben at the Aging Arborist Instagram. You can DM either one of us personally. We can kind of work that out. And then I think what we'll do is we'll bring a box of shirts and maybe some hats and some cool stuff to the booth. Man, some of you last year came, and I think one guy dropped it, bought it. Yeah. And I feel terrible in my mind right now. God forgive me that I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
$100 one.
But he bought a shirt and was like, "Here's $100. I'm good. I just want to help you guys." And man, that was
really.
So you know, I'm not out here beating the tin can, you know, at all. It's good. We're good. God's blessed us with a business that can kind of sustain this, you know, which is awesome. But man, help with production costs, a little bit of travel expenses, things that just help put this on. There's a lot that goes into it. You don't know off the top of your head. I'm putting you on the spot. Like when you edit, I mean, how many do you have any idea hour wise what it takes you month to month? Like, is it, you think it's 20 hours? Is it?
Well, you figure almost half of each week goes to editing the podcast, doing teasers for it. So between audio processing, coloring, editing, and trailers, I'd say it's probably about 18 to 20 hours per week. And it's not all edited at once because you figure I'm doing the stuff for the tree awareness brand as well.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, Ben's a full-time employee, works for the company, does our marketing, does our social media. And so, yeah, you just heard him, like half his time, especially on that first week, you know, it could be 25 to 40 hours by the time he gets the lighting and you know, he's driving here, setting the room up. And
for the listeners that maybe this is the first time listening, but just understand the same way that we're passionate about trees and how we put time for all these years. This guy is doing the same thing with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know a lot of people that do production, but just your attention to detail. And we joke about the dictatorship, and you be like, do this, you talk. No, you be quiet. But I love it because that is somebody who's so into the craft.
And honestly, I'm getting feedback from people. And I did a client the other day, and his job, he was a retired like lighting and sound guy. That's what he did professionally. He goes, hey, before we look at, can I just tell you? He's like, who's doing your? And he's like, your videos, the quality. Then I'm like, it's Ben. He's a he's a psychopath.
He's a psychopath.
And bro, I'm just gonna share the story. Like earlier, he's like, okay, let me do this. I want to adjust the mic, and he goes, and I go, you moved it 2 microns, Ben. And he laughs, and Brick laughs, but it's like,
But then he came back real quick. It's like, yeah, when you're cutting, just drop the spar, like a little extra, and I'm like, it's the same.
Yeah, he used the analogy.
Yeah,
and like we say, it's a game of inches out there,
and sure enough.
So, but anyway, I say all that to say, you know, again, not trying to solicit, but if you feel like you want to help, message in. Whatever you want to do, it's fine. If not, it's cool. We're gonna love you regardless.
Yes.
We're gonna keep doing this regardless. But you know, I was hesitant, quite frankly, to ask for help.
No, I know,
and I'm like, you know what?
I was too, and both of us were in the same boat. But Jeff Inman, Rick Hughes, there's been people that have been like, listen, it's not what it is.
Yeah,
and you know, so we kind of grow into like, okay, like we're not. We'll accept the help, but we're not asking for help.
Correct. And I think part of it is I think I wanted to get 10 to 12 in the books to say like, hey, we're here, we're showing up, we have a system, we're going to, you know, as long as we're able and as long as the world is in one piece and we can keep showing up, we're going to keep showing up, trying to bring you some good content. The reason we stopped and asked questions is because we want to engage with everybody. All the listeners say, hey, like, let's make this actual episode about what you guys are concerned with right now. And I think based on what this felt like today, this would be cool to be a once a year type of thing. And so, yeah, that's kind of, well, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. So we're super grateful for the followership, for any comments and things. We're just kind of excited to be here. We're having a blast.
Yeah.
You know, it's the best fun on a Friday we have every month. So, and I get to hang out with my brother. So, can't beat it.
You want? I mean, we don't have them locked in, but do you idea of like possibly?
Yeah, I would say Go ahead, tip who he is and what he does and what his background is for next month. Yeah.
So no, next month we still got to pick the exact date, but we'll be doing the interview with Jake Riggs, who's out of Pennsylvania. He has his own company. He's the 3rd generation. No, I know he's second, but I just recently, like he's third, but 3rd generation Arborist. Him and his dad, his uncle. There's a whole bunch of. Essentially, they're heavy hitters in the tree industry.
They really are.
In-depth knowledge, experience, and with all that being said, I got to link up with him through the competition scene, and I think it definitely organically, but it just so happened he's 10 years younger than me, but he ended up being my mentor. And the kind of mentor I like to have, like a Goggins style. Yeah, before Goggins became popular, I mean, it's just him, and you know him very well. You know his dad, at least, on a deeper level, probably. But you guys are gonna have a nice little treat, in my opinion, because he's a no nonsense kind of a person. He's been at the internationals. I think he said he first went when he was 8 years old. His dad was, I say dragging him, but bringing him along. So like he grew up like watching the Grace. You know what I mean? I'll let him speak on it. But then when you're talking about just actual tree work, I have respect for you and people, but like when we talk about people, these are guys that can do tree work.
Yes.
We talk about competitions, and sometimes it gets,
conflated.
Yeah,
people go, you can go around
bell
a tree.
ringer, but no, like everybody we've had talked with are true tree workers, and I just love that about Jake. So I'm actually excited to have him on because he's my mentor. So I'll let him kind of pick up from there when he's on. I figured you guys can know now. And then, I mean, it's crazy. It's almost the end of the year.
I know. I'm excited to have Jake, and it's been cool. I didn't realize because for a minute he was with the Chisholms. He was at Aspen. He did a stint with them.
He did a stint with them because his dad told him, you're going to work with him, with Mark Chisholm.
Which was
which is
amazing.
Which is what you do if you want to help your son or coworker, whoever, really get the time in.
I agree.
You throw him into the wolves.
Yes.
Right? So, but yes. Yeah.
And it's cool. I had two experiences with Jake. One, we hired him to do a humongous lightning struck tree, which actually Ben did a video on for us. I'd love to dig that out again and have you see it. But it was Pete the Crane. We did a super team job.
Oh, yeah.
But Jake was the slayer on that one. So he killed that. But then it was cool. One time I did a video. It was like a little reel that I did. And I set my saw down and it was like on my climbing line, like just sitting. And I get a thing from him. And he's like, bro, get your saw off your rope. And I was like,
I love it.
And I had so much respect for it. I'm like, dude, he's right.
Yeah, but
that was, and he's like, you know better. I'm like, you're damn right I do. And you know what? Like, thank you. Like, but I love that, like, just willingness to just press in and just be like, bro, this unacceptable, because he loves what he does, and he's a craftsman and he's a professional. And I dig it so much.
And that's where it comes from.
Yeah,
it doesn't come from power.
No.
You see what I mean? It comes from, like, there's a responsibility. You tell that person, hey, I know what I'm talking about, not because I'm trying to tell you what to do, but that is not acceptable.
The cool thing is he also knows, because well, I don't think at the time he was on the Crane Man's, the instructing, but he is now. But the funny thing is he's like, hey, you're a teacher.
Yeah.
Like, people, like, what are you doing? Like, it was that, I don't know how to explain it. It was like the perfect.
I feel the exact same way. That's why I'm trying to articulate it. I can, but it's just and like I said, an ode to his dad, an ode to his uncle, an ode to the people he's been around, because literally since he was young, that's who he's been learning from. You know what I mean? So we're getting, like, you stand on the shoulders of giants and your ancestors, right? And so when you hear it from him, yes, it's from Jake, but it's also, there's so much behind it.
Dude, it's funny, and I've shared this before. I remember, like, being introduced to Mark. It's like, oh, and I think he's third generation too, but it's like this, and I'm like, okay, third generation. Like, I was like, what? Like, that's just a way to puff yourself up.
Yeah.
In my mind, But now I see my kids, and I'm like, it makes me feel a little silly that I didn't see it as much before. Growing up in it, and I'm looking at this kid, and my daughters are the same way. It's like, he was 18, Mason, with 5 years, 8 years, 10 years experience. Like, he's 8 and he's running the yard with the Mini. And I'm like, okay, you know what? And it's a guy like Jake, and it's like his whole family are tree people. And it's like I always go back to the great Walendas, the tightrope walking family.
Yeah.
I mean, you grow up in
You
it.
grow
This
up
is
in
what
it.
you do. You're young and you're walking on a rope that's this high off the ground
Yeah.
and developing that skill. Well, when you learn stuff young, those neural pathways run deep, dude.
Deep. Yeah. Correct.
And if you embrace that, I mean, I've seen him work.
Yeah, you have. I know.
You know,
Yeah.
and he takes care of himself.
Yeah. No. Definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Again, it's kind of like a joke in a way sometimes, but it's just when I say he's a mentor,
Yeah.
And but the fact that he's 10 years younger than me, it's still like but he's not 10 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
know what you're
don't-
saying, and I actually can't wait in the episode to go deep on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the genesis of it, how it happened, how he feels about that.
Yeah,
and like,
I know.
You know, just that whole kind of.
I want to let him. You know, I want to let him unpack it, as you would say. So, I'm excited. It's for the listeners.
Yep.
I'm super excited. I'm always excited.
Yeah.
You know, but this one, it just something a little bit more special for
Absolutely.
me. You know,
That'll be good, man.
yeah.
And then we'll unpack after that. I have some ideas about December.
Yeah.
Who we should have in or who we could have in. So we'll let that kind of out of the bag as things progress. But yeah, man, getting to the end of another season. I hope you all stay safe out there. You know, keep them snug, man, and look out for each other.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, anything else? Or are we good?
Oh man, I think this is cool. I think this worked out real nice. I hope everybody enjoys it. Yeah, man, this is good for us too, right?
Agreed.
In a weird way, right?
Definitely. It's
Yeah,
a different energy not having a guest, but also it's nice to just connect.
Yeah.
There's I don't know if a mellowness is the right word. It's just a different, just a different vibe.
Different
Two
vibe,
instead
yeah.
of three.
Yeah,
And
but
it's not you and I, like we're talking.
Yeah, we're talking, but also it feels like home base.
Yeah.
That's what
I like that.
We idea brought me in. First episode, we kind of just and then we went on. Right, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the guests and the people listening. And then this is like home base, like hey, you know. So this is cool. And then
Touch
we'll
home
go
base.
up again.
Yeah. I like it. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah. Thanks to everybody for all
thank
the support, the questions, and just all of it. Just super happy.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
all right, y'all.
Cool, man. All right. Peace out.
Yeah.